In the 1970s, the world of motorcar racing wanted to have two more racetracks join Indianapolis. So what happened? They built two 2.5-mile racetracks, thereby creating the IndyCar Triple Crown. Now, California's Ontario Motor Speedway has long since fallen victim to the bulldozer, but this place, known as the Tricky Triangle, the green emerald jewel of the crown, survives, and today it will host round 10 of the 2018 Major Series schedule. The drivers are here, the Dallara IR18 race cars are here, and the Global SimRacing Channel is here. Get ready for the Extra Life Pocono 500. From the Keystone State, hello and welcome to another GSRC broadcast. With Joe Peak on assignment, the inmates are running the asylum. Soup and Crackers, yours truly Bill Soup's on, and Sean Crackers Ambrose sharing the microphone with today's special guest commentator, Brian Yosek. Amjad Yaman is the director, armed with cameras locked and loaded by Dougie Beard. Crackers, the term pick your poison applies no better than to this place. With 3 distinct turns, it's impossible to get the car set up that works well on all of them.
Soup, it certainly is. Welcome to the beautiful Pocono Mountains here in the glorious Keystone State of Pennsylvania. And Soup, this track steeped in history with IndyCar. It's been here forever. I went to Pocono as a kid. They opened it in 1971. They've hosted all kinds of events over the years. But Soup, let's talk about the Tricky Triangle and how particular this track is. This track is 3 different corners, obviously. Okay, so 3 different corners to deal with. What does that mean? Well, it means that you've got to set this car up to be somewhat neutral. Where do you want to be good? Where do you want to be bad? These tracks, these turns reminiscent of some tracks, famous tracks throughout history. One of them being the Trenton Fairgrounds, Trenton Speedway in New Jersey, which is no longer there, unfortunately. It was an old modified track, but they put actually a couple of Indy cars on it one time or another. But turn 1, 14 degrees of banking. Turn 2, 9 degrees. Turn 3, 6 degrees. All are going to challenge these drivers today. But the best way to get an idea of what kind of challenge it's really going to be is to hop on board the GSRC IR18 for a lap around Pocono.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Global SimRacing Channel. I'm Brian Yosek, taking you for a spin around the new Pocono Raceway in the GSRC IR18 IndyCar. So, without further ado, here we go. Down the front stretch, sailing off here into turn 1, getting up in a solo run at about 220 miles an hour. Take kind of a late entry in there to try to straighten out the exit, get it right down here towards that line, bring it straight out off the wall and down the long pond straightaway. As you can see, there's no grass, so there's a lot more room for things to get really crazy down here into turn 2. Turn 2, pretty much a lot of the same to turn 1. Take that real late entry, try to drive that corner as straight as possible, and then back out onto the straight. Down here into turn 3, you're going to take another late approach, get the car woed down here to the bottom, try to hug that yellow line, drive it straight off of the corner and back down the front stretch. You could see guys all over this track as the run progresses. It just depends on where the grip is. With this car making its grip from the bottom, you could see guys up here in this second, third seam, but you could see them right back down to the bottom, straightening out that corner, down the long pond straightaway one more time, getting your approach set up into turn 2. Once again, real late entry, swinging it in, straighten out that corner as much as possible, down into this little short chute, setting up turn 3 one more time. Find the yellow line here, turn it straight in, never lift, straight out of the corner, down the front stretch one more time, and across the line. And that is going to complete our guide here around the new Pocono Raceway. I'm Brian Yosek. Enjoy the show.
A lap around the 3-cornered oval that is Pocono. And now, let's leave that geometrically confusing lap for a lap around a few of the points races that we're going on. We're going to talk about 2 of them. We'll start with the Drivers' Championships, the pros. Now, when a driver has a history for dominance, sometimes that reputation can screw with the facts. In this commentator's mind, Blake Reynolds has been doing what he always does, and that is dominate the points. But wait, the riding shotgun driver, despite his point lead, only has a single outright victory this season. No, it is the guy in second, the guy with 4 wins, Kinetic Pacific's Christian Challenger, that has been dominating. But alas, he's not as consistent as Reynolds. Travis Worley for Unorthodox Motorsports and Vincent Leabert for Kinetic Pacific, they both have a win. Now, coincidentally enough, it came at the same event, different classes. That was in the season opener. Kinetic Pacific strikes again with Mark Torres in 5th. Let's go down and look at the Constructors' Championship. Now, looking at the Team Championship, Kinetic has the big names inside the top 5, but Alliance has the depth, having drivers in 6th, 7th, 8th, 14th, and 18th. Dog Bear and Unorthodox Racing hold station. Riding Shotgun moves up a spot to make the overlay, although they don't have a big contingent of drivers here at the Pocono Speedway today. Now, what's very important is that this race today is brought to you thanks to Extra Life. Now, Extra Life unites thousands of gamers around the world to play games in support of their local Children's Miracle Network hospital. Since its inception in 2008, Extra Life has raised more than, get this, $40 million for sick and injured children. Be a hero. Sign up today at extra-life.com. And now, we're going to go down and talk a little bit about the race details coming on. We'll have Brian Yazik. Welcome, Brian. It's good to have you here. It's going to be a long race. I'm glad you're with us.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure and honor to always join you two professionals in the booth. And I will just be the comedic side effect for this one. But as you see on your screen, round 10 of 14 here, we've got the new dollar IndyCar IR18. It's a beautiful machine. Looks gritty, and it's even faster. Open setups as usual. We've got a full 500 miles on tap, 200 laps, a 26-point incident cap, and I know the point of contention for my booth mates, the spare car. We've got one of them here in the Pocono Mountains today in Pennsylvania.
Okay, Sean, you and I are familiar with the Lionheart series. That's the other one we do here in GSRC that races the Dallara IR18. But that series is a fixed setup. This one today is open, which means they get to play around with some toys.
Yeah, so they do. Now, listen, there's a lot of different options, weight jacker being one of them. I think a lot of people have that understood, at least those in the iRacing fold. Let's talk about one of the more notable changes, though, between the IR18 and the DW12 that we ran last year when we were with the majors. Now, they took the airbox over the top of the driver's head. They took that away, okay? They returned the look of the IndyCar, that of a classic open air look prevalent up to, let's say, about the late 1990s. Now, that airbox, however, served an important purpose. It supplied air to the engine's combustion chambers. And with the airbox gone, that means the openings in the side pods had been made larger to accommodate the addition of the intake ducting alongside the car's radiators. Now, what does that mean? Well, you know what? There's speed to be found in opening those ducts now, or closing them, okay? The radiators in the IR18 work on the exact same principle as your car radiator. Coolant's pumped through the engine to keep the temperature within operating levels. The coolant is kept cool through the radiators, which are essentially giant heat exchangers. Hot coolant and cold air from the atmosphere are fed into the radiator, where the hot coolant transfers heat to the air. After losing heat to the air, the coolant is fed back to the engine in a subsequently cooler state, ready to be cycled through the engine again. Now, if an engine gets too hot, well, what happens? It'll boil the lubricants, facilitating the operation of the motor. Catastrophic failure is what we're talking about, Sue. The addition of larger inlet openings to the side pod means a lot more drag, which can hurt the top speed. So there's a balance there that you got to find. That's where the setups come into play for this Indy car. Okay, the covers essentially make those openings smaller. And there are 5 settings to choose from in iRacing, and you can adjust those. 38% closed, 54% closed, 70% closed, and 77% closed. That's going to be a big factor here today, Soup, because again, speed can be generated, but it can be generated at a cost, and that is burning up your motor. It's a 500-mile race. Drivers are going to be very careful that they get those settings right. The last 2 settings that I mentioned, they're really only used for qualifying. while the other 3 are basically for race settings. So you've got 3 settings to choose for race trim, and well, who gets it right might go a long way to how someone wins this race today.
I'm overwhelmed. I was taking notes, and I had to flip over to the second page. That was some awesome stuff. Let's go to somebody who has a more down to earth kind of get your butt in the seat and drive it. Let's go to Brian Yosick. What's the difference between these 2 cars, the old Indy car and the new one?
I mean, after that, yeah, I'm glad I just steer the things and not try to set them up, because I start running at heat exchange, and I was just gone at that point. Now, to me, having a lot of experience in, as we mentioned before, the Lionheart IndyCar series, and just a lot of experience on iRacing in general, the biggest difference to me is the draft in the IR18 versus the DW12. Now, I don't know if there is science to prove this, and maybe Sean could back me up on this one, but just in the seat of the pants feel, it does feel like you can get a run from further back in the IR18 versus you could in the DW12. The DW12, if you were about 0.6 of a second back, you could start to sniff that draft and really start making inroads. And in the IR18, it feels like about a second, maybe even 1.2 seconds back, you could really start feeling that car. You can hear the revs pick up, and you can feel the car, especially at Pocono, where you just go whipping by things, and those lines go a lot faster. The other thing to keep in mind, too, especially with the Indy cars, with as aero-dependent as they are, the IR18 still can get that nasty aero push out, but in comparison to its predecessor, the DW12 seemed like in the corners it casted a much wider net of air that you could get sucked up behind and really stall your momentum out. In the IR18, it feels like you can get at least side by side a lot easier, and if you maybe run 3/4 of a lane to a lane higher, the car will A, support it, and B, you might be able to at least maintain and stabilize your gap to the guy in front of you. So then, especially at Pocono, where we come down this front straightaway that you could literally land a plane on, that you could really sniff that draft and get caught up.
You know, folks, Brian Yosick, they're talking about the dirty air, and Sean Ambrose talking about the air that goes into the intake. I'll tell you how I roll when I go racing. Let's talk about the air that's going to end up on my wife's neck. Now, let's look at the weather. 84. She's going to be comfortable. In fact, it's a good thing she came with layers. She can take some of that off. Look at that track temperature at 113. Ooh, Sean, yeah. I got a hunch. That's going to make the car pretty slippery.
I think tires are going to be at a premium today. I think every chance you get some, you're going to get them, right, Brian?
Yep. 4 fresh feel goods. Fill me up full of fuel. Life is happy.
Well, now, with that said and done, let's see. We're just about done with, well, I keep thinking that we're going to go to qualifying, but of course, qualifying is preset from what they did earlier on in the week. Boys, I have an interesting stat for you. You take the driver who is in the 33rd position here on the grid from qualifying. I think it was Corbin, if I remember right. That time, there were only 14 other drivers through all of the other regions that were faster than our 33rd qualifier today. That goes to show you, the Pacific guys, pretty talented.
I mean, you see it time and time again, especially with this series, the different cars that they run and the talent that it requires, especially from a driver's mindset. You know, it kind of harkens back to the old days in the 60s and even the 50s, where you would see guys jump across multiple platforms. You know, Mario Andretti, he would run in NASCAR for the Daytona 500, and then he jumped to Formula One, then jumped to IndyCar. AJ Foyt, there's another one that I had it on the tip of my tongue, and it just went away. So there's that. It's really impressive, and I'm just looking at the practice times. Blake Reynolds on top of practice with a 42.12, which could have been a draft lap. Well, most likely was. Dead last in the practice, Mark Torres, a 43.17. So you got a second that's covering 35 cars?
Yes, indeed. And Sean, we got a ringer here today. His name is Liam Quinn. He hails from, I think he's out of the Netherlands. And of course, doesn't mean that there's certainly some great Dutch race car drivers in IndyCar. Arie Luyendyk comes to mind immediately. But he doesn't race over here with us very much, but he did win this region's version of the Indy 500 in this car. So Liam, going to be fast.
Yeah, I expect that the setup is maybe somewhat similar. And that would probably be a wise choice, as these tracks do share a lot of similarity. I think his experience at Indy will translate well, and in Soup, it is time to go to the grid.
About the new Pocono. I love this.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the grid right now. And we, since we have time, how about we do it a row at a time? This will be fun. It's Henry Bennett. He's going to be on the pole. He's going to be inside of Christian Challenger. Sean, who's in row 2?
Well, that's going to be the aforementioned Liam Quinn in a number 33. And Dallas Pataska, who is always fast ever since he showed up this season in number 94.
Row 3 being Tom Dreiling, and do his outside Richie Hearn, a name very familiar and synonymous here on GSRC and the IndyCar world itself.
He picked up a win in the season opener Daytona. Ryan Worley, he's going to be in the 7th spot inside of Matthew Thunhurst.
All right, row 5 going to be Steve Driscoll in a number 62, and Michael Thompson will round out the 5th row in 10th, the number 314.
In row number 6, there we go, Mark Torres and Vincent Herbier. Is that right?
That was very good. In the Baker's dozen spot, it's Clark Archer, and he's going to be inside of Marcus Tracy. Sean?
All right, and row 8 is going to be Kevin Me O'Keefe in the number 629, and Nick Kuhn in the number 19.
Row number 9, Dick Mueller and Travis Warling.
Blake, what am I doing in 19th position? Reynolds starts down here. He's going to be inside of Jimbo Pfeiffer.
And that is just how competitive it was, Sue, for qualifying. Rob Powers on the inside of row 11. Wayne Hutchinson, the Northwest driver, will be starting in the number 17, 22nd.
Sorry, I was looking at something else. Where are we at? Rob Powers. Row 12, Brian Bennett and Adam Fisip. Somebody help me here. Fakapunti.
I'll go with that one. In the quarter-century mark, it's Lynn Kinchino, and he's going to be inside a little train, Lionel Callisto.
Oh, Lynn Kinch. Row 14, Kevin Hill. In the number 12, Drew Lalonde is with us in the number 3.
Row 15, Brian McGurvey. I like that. That's aptly named fellow. Brian spells it the right way with an I. Paul Slovaknik to his outside.
Mark Redeker in the 33rd position inside of Ray Partridge. And then the last car, we talked about him, Scott Corbin, the 15th fastest qualifier in any of the other 3 regions. All right, it's ready to go racing. You know what to do. It's round number 10. Used to be the Pacific Majors. Now it's global. It's the majors. Gather up the chickens, take covering on the cows because the horses are out of the barn. And it is indeed Henry Bennett leading the stampede down into the first corner. Christian Challenger tries to tuck in behind him. He's going to do that. Liam Quinn leaves some room. 4th and 5th, Dallas Pataska and Tom Dreiling.
Very orderly out of turn 1 as you see Henry Bennett dropping down to try to break the draft away from Christian Challenger behind him. But everybody so far, I think they understand how many laps we go around here because everybody is minding their P's and Q's right now.
Back after your top 10, Richie Hearn, Ryan Worley, Matthew Thunhorst, Michael Thompson, and Steve Driscoll.
A little bit more intense towards the back. Soup cars still trying to shuffle in a line and find their place in this race. And it's starting to happen as they come to the back of the field, starting to come across the start-finish line now.
One car losing positions on the inside. Travis Warling back into 22nd position. He just let Jimbo Pfeiffer go around him. Talking about Pfeiffer, he now tries to make a move down to the inside. You can see him in that kind of, I'm going to call it citrus-flavored card on the inside. Pfeiffer gets underneath Rob Powers. Move him up into 20th.
Battles all over. Just in front of him, Blake Reynolds passing his riding shotgun teammate in turn 3 with a little bit of a wiggle coming through there. But Blake has made very steady progress. We've noted that he started in the 19th spot, put him up to P15, and he's just got by for 14th now, setting his sights forward.
Fans, if you hear me call Brian Yazik, that's not because, oh my goodness. And
no! Put it out! Put it out!
I believe it was Brian Bennett that turned him over. Let me see if I have that one right. Yes, it was.
O'Keefe's problem started down on the bottom. Soup, let's look at the replay. He got down on that yellow stripe. That's not where you want to be. This car is going to get way out of shape.
The car was good, though. He was fine, but it was indeed Brian Bennett that went by and actually put him on his lid for a while. Poor Brian.
Well, begs the question, why me?
Why me?
Right on board. You can see it happen in front of you. You make the call.
Yeah, he just, you especially down there in turn 1, getting as close to that yellow line as possible is where the fastest time is made, especially maybe being able to cut underneath somebody. But it is such a razor's edge down there. The car just instantly undoes itself, and you see exactly what happened to Kevin.
Yeah, and you know what? I was following Kevin. Kevin had already picked up a couple of spots, had himself a really good, solid run going to get started, and it was actually him and Marcus Tracy had picked up several spots with Blake Reynolds right behind them. Blake gets away with one there, as like I said, he was behind that action, and he had to get through also. So, you know, one of our familiar faces in Blake Reynolds, and probably favorites to at least get a top 5, had a close moment there, and a lot of drivers avoiding trouble there early.
Just to follow up on a few points, I'll finish my point about the lead commentators calling Brian Yasek. Yasek, that's just going to be hard for me to break, so if you hear that, don't be offended, viewers. Second of all, bad news for Rutgers Kev that he crashed early on, but Sean, good news in that there is the spare car.
Right. He's going to get another chance here. In fact, he's coming around now, and will head into the pit lane, and they'll take that car behind the wall, the virtual wall, and they will virtually put another one in its place. And Kevin's going to get a chance to fight here. He's not even going to lose a lap, Soup. He will be at the back of the field, but plenty of racing left. This is lap 5 we're on, and well, last time I did a little bit of math, I think that means we have 195 to go.
All right, now here comes Brian Yazek's specialty here, this strange pit stop strategies. But this is not unpredictable. The guys at the back might as well come in. They're at the back. They really have nothing to lose. They're going to come in, I guess, get some tires.
Yeah, throw some tires at it, throw some fuel. I mean, the goal would be to maybe stretch it out, see if, you know, you can kind of take the long way towards the front, if you know what I mean. Ride it out here, because you're going to get about 5 extra laps over the guys that have to pit. Maybe because of how pit road is on entry, you know, guys might be trying to get it woed down to get into their pit stall, spin out, wreck, come back out into the track. The caution comes out, and all of a sudden you look like a hero.
Another good news for Rutgers Kev is the car landed on his wheels, and he was able to, instead of taking a tow, which would be considerable amount of time, he was able to drive that injured car back to the pit. So all in all, not the worst thing that could have happened to him. Sean, with the track being so hot and tires being such a factor, is pit stops going to be based on fuel, or do you think this is kind of the thing where you just can't stay out on tires the whole time?
Well, no. I think you're going to try to extend your runs as long as you can, Soup. But to extend your run, what are you going to need? You're going to need some green flag racing. Just based on, we'll just use what happened in the European split, which just wrapped up a little while ago on LSR TV. It was a bit of a caution fest. Now I don't anticipate that we're going to get this out of this group, but Soup, I think we'll be in good shape.
Pace car dives in. We're going to go green here for the second time, and it's Henry Bennett out in front. Same familiar names: Liam Quinn, Christian Challenger, Pataska, and Hearn. Single file into the first corner. Single file mostly all the way through the field now that double file restart got out of the way.
Well, and the other thing, too, and we're going to have to keep an eye on that as the race progresses, but Pocono is very notorious for a very short restart window. So as we wind down closer to the conclusion, and restarts might get a little bit more enticing for the guy hanging out back. But there you see Liam Quinn. He's doing what I was kind of talking about, right in that higher lane in the corner, and then at least trying to minimize the gap, because look at this run he's going to get down the front stretch.
There's a peek to the inside, a little farther back as well, as we ride on board with Liam, looking up at the leader. They start to distance themselves a little bit. Pataska now up in third, Hearn in fourth, Challenger beginning to go the wrong direction, back to fifth. Ryan Hurley in that train. Sean, I'm trying to figure out where the preferred line is here. I can't quite figure it out yet. It looks like the inside line works. Sometimes the outside line works.
Wherever you can get clean air.
Yeah.
That's the line.
That's it.
Oh, put it out. No. Big wreck in turn 3.
Yeah.
Got multiple pirouettes going on there.
And it involves a Brian Bennett, unfortunately. Got to go for a big tumble there.
Jimbo Pfeiffer and Kevin Hill also involved in it.
I think this is going to start with Jimbo, unfortunately. I think he got a major run on Bennett.
It starts.
Yeah,
Jimbo
got a big run at him there, Brian. And boy, you could talk about that probably a little bit better. The runs that this IR18 can get sometimes can be deadly.
Yeah, it can really catch you off guard because, I mean, you'll be, especially where he was at, he probably trying to lift out for the corner and the car just kind of, you know, you get that big run and you're just there. Unfortunately, when you're following in the tire tracks, the guy in front of you, the car doesn't cut down. So you just kind of float right into whatever you're aiming at.
Can we get a replay? Poor Drew Lalonde. He's the last car on the scene. Maybe an onboard camera from Drew. Oh, this is so sad. There's 3 cars doing gymnastic moves in front of him.
He hit Rob Powers is who he plows into here. Really just an innocent bystander. You see Powers just dead in the middle of the track there.
I mean, you got 1 car flying through the air. You got another one almost stationary down there. That's a tough break. So 4 cars involved in that one. And they're going to have a hard time staying on the lead lap because they, unlike Rutgers Kev, did not all land on their wheels and able to drive back. Go ahead, Sean.
No, I was just going to say, what was I going to say, Sue?
You're going to compliment me on my new sport coat, which kind of looks pretty good. ABC Yellow here today. Wearing it in honor of Paul Page. We were talking about Paul Page, one of the great commentators.
We were having, I think it was almost a debate. It was almost a debate because I didn't share my real feelings. But anyway.
No, we said Economaki and you just about backhanded him in the booth.
Well, I hold him in very high regard. Just a little story. Just a little story. My father's nickname for me has always been Chris Economaki. Always said, "Hey, give me the lowdown, Chris Economaki."
Chris Economaki, a commentator with a voice made for newspapers.
That goes together, Sean, like popcorn and butter. Right? That's just perfect.
Okay, the yellow is out again. So do we have any more takers coming in? Well, there was a couple of them. Travis Warling, Kevin Hill, Kevin O'Keefe pitted again. Rob Power, no, not Rob Powers. Drew Lalonde, Mark Redeker. A couple guys are probably caught up in the wreck, but that's what I saw hitting pit road. The furthest up so far, people that have pitted is Brian McCurvey in P19. So we're going to get these out of the way, right, Sean? Get these first 2 yellows out of the way?
Yeah. Sometimes you got to thin the herd, right? No thinning of the herd yet, though, because not everybody's used up their spare cars. So but what you've got is some fast guys at the back of this field who've maybe got a chance to settle in and just drive this track a little bit.
Well, we do so many broadcasts. I can't remember if I worked with you or not on that Indy 500 event, but if you remember right, that started off the same way as well, with lots of yellows, and then finally it did go back to a long green flag run. So right now, we're under green one more time. Henry Bennett.
Look at that. They're going off into turn 1. Everybody's kind of stacked right on top of each other. Henry maybe didn't get the best restart, but Liam and Dallas back there, they were both right on to that rear, I can't say rear bumper, we're going to say rear wing, going off into turn 1 and then backed off.
That's beautiful stationary camera. You get the feel of the speed these guys are coming at you. Bennett, Quinn, Bataska, Hearn, and Challoner. I think it was fair to talk about Richie Hearn. I tried to play even Steven here, even though he's my co-commentator on those Lionhearts events. As Hearn races in 4th, there's a battle behind him. Challoner being overtaken by the blue car of Ryan Worley. Hearn always fast. It's a matter, Sean, of can he get the car to the end.
Right. You're gonna need a little bit of luck, but he'll be the first one to tell you. A racer's got to have a little bit of that. Super. I'm looking at the second pack that's behind the top 15, being led by the little train, Lionel Callisto, up 10 spots.
Oh, caution is out.
Oh,
It looks
boy.
like it's just down the Long Pond straightaway. It's like the 47 car.
Yeah,
Rob Powers.
Rob Powers again.
Oh, that car got tight. That car got tight off.
Right in front of Kevin Hill. And I have no silver lining on this cloud, because if all you little soldiers in Clip Support Army, if you're keeping track, I believe that's Powers' second car. He lost one in that incident before this one.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, Soup. He was involved in that. Remember, he got he was the car that was dead in the middle of the track, and then he got plowed into. Yeah, that's probably going to be an ender for Rob. But again, Brian, when I looked at that replay, the car looked like it got tight down there on the bottom.
Yeah, it probably just washed out a little bit, and he probably had as much wheel into it as he could get. The issue is when you get that tight, the only way to for sure not bounce off the fence, depending on how far into the corner you realize it, is either hit the brake or let off the gas, or both. And judging by his track angle, he thought he could hang on to it till the very end.
So we go yellow for the third time here in the first 12 laps. You might think not a good omen, but it's a great omen. We're getting these all out of the way, which means that we can have a long green flag run. What I think we're going to do right now is take this opportunity to get everybody a chance to go to the refrigerator one more time, get a drink, and we'll come back and we'll be back to you live before we go green.
It's happening again. Extra Life, the 24-hour gaming marathon where gamers across the world raise money for our local Children's Miracle Network hospitals. It feels good to do something we love to help kids, but it feels great to get closer through the magic of game. We enter as friends and leave as real-world heroes for sick kids everywhere. Sign up online. Extra Life. Play games. Heal kids.
Welcome back to the Global SimRacing Channel's coverage of the Extra Life Pocono 500 Round 10 on the 2018 major schedule. Well, since we have this downtime, let's take this opportunity to look at one of the other championships that's going on, and this is going to be the Sportsmen, those guys who are iRating challenged, and we'll bring that up to you right now. Take a look at that. There you see that the top man holds station. It's Rob Mueller. Oh, sorry, it's Dick Mueller as he moves up a whole station out the top spot with 1,292 points. Moving up a spot is Nick Kuhn. Sliding down one is Rob Powers, who's had some problems already today. Adam Thunkaponte in the 4th position, and then Ernie Ludwig, the Canadian driver, down there in 5th. Sean, lots of regions going on. Quickly, you know the winners from the other regions today?
Yeah, Soup, let me pull that up real quick. In fact, the international region, which was covered by V8's Online very early today, in the wee hours. In fact, Josh Nowak from Australia wins. In the Euro division, our European friends over at Race Spot covered and saw David Baker take the big win over there. And the race that just wrapped up a little while ago on LSR TV was the Atlantic division, won by an old friend of ours, Soup, from the Camel GT series, Riley Thompson.
Hey!
I'll tell you what, man, this kid, and I'm going to call him a kid because he is a young man, he's hot, man. He's one of the up-and-coming iRacers on the service right now.
Well, the pace car who has led the most laps today has pulled in. Let's go green one more time.
There's a big stack up there on that restart. Some guys got the message to go and some didn't. There's almost bumper cars, and look, they're going to start fanning out back there as soon as you cross that line.
Careful.
Oof.
Wow, scooting up on the top side. That was Nick Kuhn. He slid around. They were 3 wide. They continued to race really close together in the back.
Yeah, well, that's Blake Reynolds right there behind him. And Blake's got to be careful riding shotgun, making an evasive move there.
All over the place.
Reynolds up into 15 and now working the outside. Trying to take it around high. You get that spot too.
Blake Reynolds up to the 11th or 10th position, depending on where that shuffles through. But that steady rise to the front was fastest in practice. 13th. I was wrong both ways.
Couple big names to keep track of as we look back up front. Challoner in 7th. Remember, it's Reynolds and Challoner in that championship battle.
Man, we've got Soup. We've got an alliance sandwich back here. He's sandwiched in between 2 riding shotgun drivers. It's Blake Reynolds behind Lionel Callisto. Keeps trying to make a move. Lionel's not having any of it. He is making that IR-18 just as wide on the track as he can.
Callisto, a notorious closer. Don't always see him up front early. He's really good at taking care of his equipment, saving his fast repair to when he needs it, and then you'll see him when it counts. Blake Reynolds behind him right now. Blake's got a good run. I think he'll probably get this past mate. Nope. He loses all of his speed.
Yeah, just kind of tucked back in line right there.
Might be one of those cases where, all right, 12th is good enough for now. 13th good enough.
I know Blake. He's a very methodical and very aggressive driver. I don't think he's happy with 13th. I know he's probably happy to be away from, you know, whenever you start mid-pack in a big field like this, you always feel that the, you know, that death is waiting for you around the corners. But he just seems to get to where he needs to be.
Yazek, can you use your stuff up? Can you burn the tires off in these
Absolutely.
cars? If you,
Absolutely, you can. If you got too much steering ratio in there, if you're in, you know, if you're in behind somebody for a couple laps and you start getting tight, you start getting everything, you know, you start working the right front tire. It's kind of standard across that side of things. You get that tire angry, it's not going to grip for you anymore. So I mean, these guys it's kind of a balancing act. Some prefer different ratios and different settings and different, you know, all this different stuff that you can tinker with. So, I mean, for some, it's probably a personal creature comfort thing, but, you know, the tire wear could fluctuate, you know, a couple percentage points. And more importantly, the heat that you build up into that tire. That is the bad part.
Oh, it's been back in P10. We were looking at it and away from it. Torres, and it was Clark Archer.
It was, and Clark Archer's going to make a little bit of contact with Torres.
And he'll get into it as well.
Yeah, well, they got into... Archer was still up on the track, stopped, and I guess drivers didn't see him up there, but let's watch the replay of what happened. Again, it's another run, Soup, that causes another spin.
Pull the curtain back on this one. Sean's spidey senses were tingling. He saw this one coming.
Well,
didn't
see that coming.
Yeah.
That's drivers fanning out on track, Brian. Obviously, when that yellow comes out, you're looking for some real estate that's clean, and everybody fans out like that, and that's what happens, isn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly what it boils down to. When caution comes out, and, you nailed it. Everybody tries to fan out and not get either run over from behind or mow over who's in front of them, but very often you just run out of real estate. You see Clark getting into the back there.
And poor Brian McGreevy tried to get on the binders. He got into the back of Win Kinchlew, who tried to get out of the way. Was slowing down. Kinch is really damaged, boy. The car number 181.
Well, hopefully, I don't think Kinch has been in yet for repair, so he should be in good shape.
What's so sad is he had it cleared. I'm just looking at Kinchlew. He made it through safely. He just got ran in behind. Well, another yellow flag. I believe that is our 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth yellow flag. Is that? Do I have those numbers?
Fourth
yellow flag.
Yes.
Okay.
And we only have 180 laps to go. Just getting ready to wrap up here.
Well, I did make the comment earlier about thinning the herd, and you know what? I mean, honestly, sometimes that's what it does take. We see these races settle down usually at a point, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that first third of the race might be a little rough, but right now, pit lane going to be a very, very busy place as most of the field is taking this opportunity to come in for service.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me over halfway through a fuel run like that.
You talked about thinning the herd, Sean, but it's really like a zombie movie. I mean, you can die, but you just keep coming back with the spare car.
Whoa.
Until you run out of spare car.
Yeah, once.
The skull. It's almost those zombie movies, isn't it? Good race off a pit road there, too.
Okay, so two cars decide to stay out. That's Nick Kuhn and Wayne Hutchison. Maybe just out there getting a little
of them floating
attention.
Out there. By my my stats here, it looks like Nick Kuhn stayed out, Wayne Hutchinson, Jimbo Pfeiffer, Michael Thompson, Marcus Tracy, Dick Mueller, and Ray Partridge. Yep, those would be the ones that are going to cycle out to the top 7 or so. Yeah,
Pfeiffer, Thompson, and Tracy, those guys, they came in and already made a stop. They came in on one of the more recent pit stops. Kuhn and Hutchison, they've been out there. They've had to come in. I'm not liking this.
Yeah. Fuel window somewhere around 33-ish laps. And you're 21, even with cautions. You take a 2-to-1 ratio. 8 caution laps coming to 9. I mean, they could probably stretch it to 40-ish.
I like it in theory, track position. Just worry about the pace of Nick Kuhn and Wayne Hutchison.
That is going to be the thing to kind of keep an eye on here.
Boy, that is can we get a look at Kuhn's car? That is intensely patriotic. There are a lot of stars on that one. Little low on stripes, but
yeah, the dog bear guys, I think, are all running that paint scheme.
That's nice. Do a quick count. I think there's 50. Well, maybe 50 plus. So Kuhn and Hutchinson decide to stay out. They'll be coming in, though, before the rest of these guys. You heard Yazik talk about it. Pfeiffer and Thompson, they can stay for a while. So can Mueller and Partridge.
Yeah, your top 7 is the ones that have not elected to pit. So Liam Quinn goes from 1st to 8th. But yeah, when you're taking a look at things there, the top 2 have not pitted, have not been on pit road since we started the race, because it's just a bold strategy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm reading the chat. Andrew Kinsella there. Is that left front wing bent up on the 00 there? Or is that just me hallucinating? Oh.
Jimbo Pfeiffer says, yeah, that's some interesting.
Yeah, no, it's been it's up. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. Well, that might not work out. I don't know.
Just shrug your shoulders and go, well.
Yeah, well, you know. Now, listen, Jimbo may not have known he had that damage.
Jimbo, your wing is bent. You can't hear me.
Yeah, we've established that earlier, Brian.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
The lights are off the pace car. Thank goodness, as we're about to go green. Not because I don't mind the yellow flag laps. I just want to give my fellow commentators something to talk about. Here we go. Kuhn and Hutchison. How fast will they be? Well, we'll find out soon enough. There is a big point, though, that we should talk about. Liam Quinn, he was able to get around Henry Bennett out of the pit stops. So now he's the leader of all the cars that were stayed out there a long time. So keep an eye on Quinn. He's back in 8th.
Jimbo did not go, but look at that red car sending it from the outside, top to bottom. Marcus Tracy went around the top of that yellow car and then brought it right back to the bottom, and now he's going to be racing Jimbo wheel to wheel going into the tunnel turn here at Pocono. Oh, Jimbo's going to drift up. That wing, man, that's just not going to end up good for him, especially the further back into that pack he gets, where clean air is so much more precious. And here you see they're going to probably try to take him 3 wide here in turn 3.
We're on board with Quinn. Remember, he started in 8th. I told you that he was on a move. He has already made his way up to 5th position. Next on his hit list is Pfeiffer with that damaged front wing. Quinn's going to wait.
I mean, he's going to try to go. He saw it work earlier, the car in front of him. Liam Quinn to try that top lane. Arrow kind of faded out a little bit, but then back there you see a good battle shaping up between Henry Bennett and Ryan Worley in that blue car to the top side by side, going through turn 2. And then oh my! Big checkup for front wing damage.
Wow. What a checkup from Richie Hearn. My gosh.
Dick Mueller, too, man. I mean,
4 tires and a change of underwear for the driver of the 70 on the next pit stop.
How he did not get into the back of Henry Bennett, I will never know.
Wow.
You know, the netcode gods take away, but sometimes they give. I think that was one of those moments right there.
And it's still going on. Look at that pinata full of bees coming at you.
You got Dreiling and back here and Lionel Kalisto.
Oh, big problems. Put it out. Oh, God. Come on, guys.
Boy. And Pataska makes the contact with Dick Mueller.
Oh, and Lionel Kalisto got a part of that.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he's missing half of the front wing.
This is an interesting one. It's Pataska making the pass on the outside, and then Mueller drifts up. I kind of think the fault lies with Pataska on this
Well,
one.
I'm going to be honest with you. Mueller is going to hit the yellow line just a little bit down there on the bottom, and then once he does, the car starts to travel up the track. And
that's a weird one. That's a weird one.
I'm almost going to say Pataska was really kind of a bystander right there, honestly. It was close. It was marginal. Yeah, let's get into replay with Richie Hearn, man, because Hearn was right behind that. Maybe we'll get to see those yellow tires down, or the tires down on the yellow line here when we come to the turn.
Here we come right here. That's down the Long Pond Straight.
Yeah, there's Pataska on the outside.
That's the one that Richie where he got on the binders. My God, look how big that car got in his windshield there. Woo.
I wonder if Richie is gonna I wonder if he's gonna burn the fast repair, or if he's gonna uncheck that and just get the front wing. I would assume just get the front wing replaced. Take the 20-second or whatever time it's gonna take, but that way you still have that full spare car.
You talking about? You said Richie. You talking about Jimbo Pfeiffer?
No, I thought Richie had some wing damage.
Does he? Oh,
I see.
There you go. Well, he's in the same boat as Pfeiffer. They both have that injured wing.
Yeah, actually, Richie's got some side pod damage, too, on the passenger side. I'm seeing it now.
You want me to try shouting at him again?
Yeah.
No, that's all.
No? Okay.
Way. I think Yazik's on this one. Way too early to burn a fast repair if your car is still anywhere close to drivable.
Yeah, I mean, if it'll still roll and point the right direction, that's usually a good start.
Well, according to Richie, he's used to driving damaged race cars anyway, so. Okay, everybody lay out on me. Thanks, guys.
I didn't even know what you were talking about. I thought you were going to explain. But then you said the punchline and you just sat there laughing to yourself.
Okay,
and
all right.
Soup and I were just really confused.
Yeah, you laid out on me.
Well, you know, I did ask him an interesting question. I thought, because he works with me in the booth and he's a real-world race driver, I got to pitch myself when I get to do these things. But I got to ask him the question, like, were you more worried about when you crashed? Were you more worried about physical injury or you know, the expense of damaging the car? And he came back, I was worried about disappointing the crew, the guys who worked so hard on it. So that's a big-hearted guy. Richie Hearn racing back in 8th position. The other car we're worried about, Jimbo Pfeiffer. Boys, how about a shout-out to Nick Kuhn and Wayne Hutchinson? We were worried about the strategy, working for them.
I'm still worried about it. The only, I mean, here's the thing. Lap times that we're ripping around here is you know, high 42-second bracket. The pit road delta, for those of you not in the know of what that terminology means, that's the total time that's going to take you to get down pit road, hit your box, and then exit, is going to be right around 30 to 40 seconds. So even if they pit from the lead, they're still going to run the risk of losing a lap, especially trying to get those things wound up to speed, because you know, these guys, whoever stays out. So let's say Liam Quinn comes ripping around here. He's screaming around at 200 plus miles an hour. And then you're going to have Nick Kuhn and Wayne Hutchinson that are just getting up to speed. They're not going to be even above 200 until turn 3.
Got some takers. Marcus Tracy decides to pit. He was racing, I believe, in 4th position. He decides to come in, sacrifice track position for some new rubber. He'll slot in 22nd. Sean, do we want to look at attrition? Do we have anybody that we can officially say is out?
Soup, yeah, we do actually. Rob Powers is out. Yeah, Powers is the only one right now. Looks like now Pataska had a long pit stop, about a little over 2 minutes. He's at the back of the field. He is a lap down currently, along with Clark Archer and Brian Bennett. But again, Rob Powers, the only casualty of the race. And boy, shame to have him out so early. There's still so much left to go.
Let's check in on our points leaders, see how they're doing. Challenger in 9th, Reynolds in 11th. And they've managed to avoid trouble. Although, it's been around them.
Hey, you know what? You were giving a shout out a moment ago. Hey, let's look at Kevin O'Keefe just real quick. I know we're getting ready to get restarted here, but Kevin O'Keefe is back 14. In this thing, man. He's back. 13th right now is what I'm showing him at. But yeah, good on him, man. He got himself all the way to the back.
All right, let's do it one more time. Nick Kuhn and Wayne Hutchinson lead the field. Watch out for the driver in 3rd. It's Liam Quinn. He was fast. The only reason he's back in 3rd is he took the most recent pit stop. I expect him to gobble up those 2 cars pretty quickly, move him into the lead. Watch going on in the back. That's Pfeiffer being challenged from the blue car of Ryan Worley on the outside. That was a battle for 3rd. Worley not done yet. He ducks underneath. There you can see it at the very left of your screen. There they go by. Worley makes that pass. I'm sorry, he does. Pfeiffer goes back to 4th.
Yeah, well, just behind Pfeiffer's Richie Hearn, and Hearn is wheeling that damaged race car. In fact, he's about to pull off a move here on Jimbo. Going to look to the inside, heading down to the turn.
Down the front stretch, that long camera angle provided to us by Dougie Beard. There you see it. Pfeiffer just kind of concealed. He could have fought that spot into the corner, but there's really no way to go about it. Richie's going to take that position, move Richie back up into the top 5 with that slightly bent up machine. I'm all that much more impressed.
Wing damage, schming damage. Maybe it's helping with the downforce.
Maybe. I mean, well, here's the thing. I mean, And Sean, help me out on this one. If you have some wing damage like that, and you might know it, could you tinker with some of the settings in the car that you have controls of to offset some of that?
You can compensate a little bit, sure, right. Use a little bit of weight jacker and try and compensate that. Throw a little bit more weight to the left side so you can find that bike, that grip down on the left front where the wing is damaged right now.
There's going to be a battle for the second spot coming up here very, very soon as Liam Quinn, he's going to be all over the back of Wayne Hutchinson. But you see, just kind of stuck in that dirty air at the moment. But here's a good run coming out of turn 2. He's going to fall in line, maybe probably take this higher lane up there in turns 3. There he goes, get that run, get side by side, and just sneak away down the front stretch. Move Liam Quinn up to P2.
It really is that give and take between being in the draft and being in the dirty air. But what he did, he found that clean line, and yep.
Well, the other thing I'm noticing is Quinn seems to be running at minimum a lane off of the bottom every single place he goes. So maybe he's got the car dialed in to specifically work up in that top groove. And maybe that's, and of course, as soon as I'm talking about it, he goes to the bottom in turn 2, but that's really the only way through turn 2.
Sean Challenger and Reynolds are in a mix back here. Challenger going low.
Jimbo Pfeiffer right in the middle of this, too. Michael Thompson up at the lead of that, but Challenger goes down to the bottom. And actually, it was Blake Reynolds that was really starting to close on him. And Blake gets stuck there behind him. Now, Blake, a little bit of wing damage on his car as well there in the left front. Got to be careful here with Tom Dreiling just behind him and Jimbo Pfeiffer there up top. He is battling for that position. Blake's going to get it.
Dreiling with a run in the yellow car down low. Dreiling really underrated on these ovals. Love him when he gets out here. He can surprise you.
Okay,
Blake,
there we go.
One back.
Blake trying to take it away from Christian Challenger, and Challenger's just going to let him have it. Moves to the side, let him go.
Yeah, I mean, I think these guys, some of the more seasoned veterans of the major series, you know, they know that there is still 167 laps in this race. So, you know, there's no. I'm just going to stop trying to predict things because Challenger pulled a crossover going down into turn 1. Didn't work, but he tried it.
Well, that's going on. Worley was able to get around Hutchison. Now Worley got that blue car up into third.
Marcus Tracy, a little bit of trouble here in the back of the field. He got into the wall coming out of the turn. That was right behind Clark Archer and Matthew Thunhorse, the Alliance driver, trying to get by him now.
Hutchinson continues to fall as he drops one more spot. Richie Hearn now up to fourth.
What did I say, guys? I said Richie Hearn knows how to drive a damaged race car.
Boy, he does. Now, Kuhn, our leader, is going to have to be coming in. Well, it'll be a while because we've had so many under yellow, but he's about 20 laps farther on this tank of fuel than Quinn is. Remember, Liam Quinn, the winner of the Indy 500.
And if you want an interesting development, I've been keeping my tabs on this as we've gone on. Nick Kuhn up there in clean air up until this very last lap has actually been running faster than Quinn. I mean, it wasn't by much, half a tenth at most. Last time, Quinn was about half a tenth faster.
Yeah, and Brian, isn't Pocono, much like Indy, it's one of these places like clean air is king, is it not? Yeah. I mean, really, it's worth more speed.
Yeah, it's absolutely right. You know, Pocono and Indy do share a lot of similar characteristics. I mean, even back in the Gen 4 version of the NASCAR Monster Energy Cup Series cars, the Winston Cup cars back in that day, there was, you know, you heard plenty of times that teams would take the same car that they ran at Pocono and take it to Indy and almost run the same darn setup, and it would run fine.
Hey, let's go to the battle right now. 310, man.
I know where you're going. I'm watching it too.
O'Keefe closing in on Leahy.
Pfeiffer is loose in front of him. They managed to get around him.
Cool. 7 or 8 on the pucker factor.
Getting around him along as well as Lambert and O'Keefe, Bennett, Driscoll, Partridge.
Oh, put it out.
Mark Torres.
Ooh. Boy, and Torres has been trying to get in trouble for a while, man. It's involved, and boy, this is going to involve his teammate. Ooh.
Well, he got up on the back of Mueller, I think, and he had to back off.
And Pataska was right there. Pataska makes just ever so slight contact, but listen, Pataska had a full head of steam, and he had to check up here. Well, here we go. On board with Dallas. I think maybe even a little bit of net code might have been involved in that.
So many of these incidents have been closing speed or just getting a run and having nothing to do with it.
That's 3 of them that I can remember. Yeah.
Well, a few comments from the driver saying, I think we went about 10 laps that time. Nick Kuhn, has got to be about time for you to come in and take a pit stop. You've been out there 37? Well, maybe not. What do we know?
I was just going to say that could not have worked out any more perfect for Nick Kuhn or Wayne Hutchinson, because they might drag a bunch of leaders down with them. It's been 18 laps since guys like Quinn and Worley and Hearn were all on pit roads. They might drag a couple else down there too. And the Pied Piper, he's playing the flute up there, just leading them all down pit road.
Oh, one snake is not going into the water, and that's going to be who is that out there?
Christian Challenger.
There's always the one, but if you look in very closely in the helmet of the driver of the 19, you could see a big smile probably right across his face right now.
So,
Firestone.
Christian Challenger, obviously a champion in many different styles of racing. We know his work well. Running the number 78. Soup, any guess on another champion that runs the number 78 in iRacing that we know pretty well?
Car number 78. Would that be? I'm going to get Errol Num. Is that Errol Num? Oh.
Yes. There you go. There you go. Indeed.
Won another championship today. His 6th in the Absolute Beginner League's Formula Eagle.
Now, there's no one in the field with the 55, so we can't share anything that
way. I'll tell you who's a little bit upset about this, about Challenger staying out, and it's Dallas Pataska. This is keeping him from getting the wave around. Pataska one lap down and stuck behind one nincompoop who decided to stay out. Sorry, Chris, I'm just speaking for Dallas.
And Dallas, no wing repair on that car. The left front, the wing on that is pretty bent up, guys.
Oh no.
So Warling also stays out. And a driver that had issues earlier, Brian McGreevy, in 3rd. So where's Liam Quinn, you ask? Well, he got out in front of all those guys. He's out in front of Worley. In fact, what do we have now? Do we have some more takers? Yeah, the guys who were pinned. Said, well, does me no good. I'm going to come in.
And the other thing worth noticing, easy enough for me to say, Nick Kuhn lost the lead off of pit road, and Liam Quinn got it back. Now you may wonder how did that happen? They both pitted, and they both had, and they went that way. Remember, Nick Kuhn was very, very light on fuel, and Liam Quinn, that's going to mess me up a couple times. Was on pit road about 18 laps sooner, so that was a lot less to take into the tank. So Nick Kuhn having a 9.4 second pit stop according to my timing and scoring. That means he got every ounce of fuel into that thing versus Liam Quinn 6.6 seconds, which basically they got it filled up, and as soon as they dropped the jack, he was gone.
I got it. It takes a half-filled tank, shorter time to fill than a empty tank. I'm with you.
Exactly.
Okay,
We didn't even
got
need
it.
Professor Lugnuts for that.
Oh,
Hey. Hey.
I would have enjoyed the Professor Lugnut segment more if you could have done it in like a German accent. That would have been.
Maybe Pig Latin next time.
Let's just say it was a late decision to get Professor Lugnut in the game today, so he wasn't quite prepped. But I thought he did an admirable job.
He was just eating corn dogs down at the stand, so it's not like he was doing anything.
Professor Lugnut does not eat corn dogs anymore. Okay, just let's get that out there.
It was a veggie corn dog.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, the star of the show has been the pace car driver. She pulls in. We're going green one more time. That's right. Christian Challenger.
Was that Patty Moise driving the pace car this
There you go.
They get all the big names out there.
Google that, folks. Patty Moise.
If clear air means anything, Christian Challenger has a nose of it. Challenger out there. Dallas Pataska would like to get around. That's not going to happen. Oh, my goodness.
In fact, Pataska's car already looks like it's a bear to handle. Here comes... Who is that on the inside? Liam Quinn. Whoa, what a run he had there.
Quinn got a good run, and he was trying to pin Bennett up behind the lap car. Bennett very wisely backed out and then fell right back into line. But here comes Quinn on that top side. Going to stall him up a little bit. But luckily, everybody behind him isn't going. And there's Blake Reynolds down there. You see him poking his nose through there.
And there goes Richie Hearn. Richie's going to try and make it 3 wide. Stamp has been licked. Oh, there he goes.
Careful up above him. That is Pataska's car is so.
Richie got lucky because the green and white car had a little wiggle, and that checked up Blake Reynolds right behind him in order to let Richie snake by. So now move Richie. Probably got some wing damage fixed. Hopefully, I don't think he burned the fast repair.
No.
That car looks good.
Yeah, wing is fixed. Wing is fixed.
He didn't lose all that much time on pit road.
And Pataska, who was hoping to get the wave around, is just getting crushed now. He's a lap down, but the cars are going all around him.
Keep an eye on that car, though, because I have a feeling the next time that yellow flag
Kevin O'Keefe
through the air, it's going to be centered around that car. Kevin stuck behind him. Finally gets through. There's a blue car on the bottom that looked like it caught the apron, and now they're trying to go 3 wide. Okay, someone got smart there.
O'Keefe came so close to running Pataska over there.
Oh, no, to the bottom goes the 71.
Ooh, that's Brian Bennett. Guys, we got a long way to go here. Up on the top side, the yellow car is Dreiling. He goes around into 9th.
Ooh, look at Steve Driscoll. Get a nice run up top there.
Yeah, that's a good head of steam right there. He's sniffing the draft off of the car in front, and he's going places.
Just
back behind, it's just Pataska is really having a hard time, and I think he's checking these guys up. That's Brian Bennett back there now trying to get around him.
Yeah, well, Pataska's pedaling as hard as he can. He's trying to avoid losing these spots, but it's inevitable at this point.
Discords everywhere are lighting up right now because anybody that's a teammate on this car, there's there it is! Put it out!
It was Pataska.
I hate to say this, but I kind of called that.
And the car that got into him was Wayne Hutchison. The blue car that got up in the air.
It's Vincent L'Herbier.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Look on board here with Vincent L'Herbier. This isn't going to end well for him, unfortunately. He's just riding along here, and then all of a sudden, he's got no choice and nowhere to go. Wow.
And there is a car that went directly under him. See if I can identify. Oh, I can't find it. Somebody pulled a duck. Somebody shrunk down in their chair, and L'Herbier flew right over the top. Well, Sean, one more time. It was a checkup move again.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
I found it, Soup.
Who you got?
It was the green. It was a green car. Hang on, I'm going back here. Why is
That's a good start.
I mean, we're getting somewhere.
Henry Bennett went one of the guys who went underneath. My gosh, the car was pirouetting in front. So, well, what we'll do right now is, since we're under another countless yellow, somebody's keeping score of these at home. We'll take another short break. 7, thank you very much. We'll be back, though, before we go green. Don't go far.
It's happening again. Extra Life, the 24-hour gaming marathon where gamers across the world raise money for our local Children's Miracle Network hospitals. It feels good to do something we love to help kids, but it feels great to get closer through the magic of game. We enter as friends and leave as real-world heroes for sick kids everywhere. Sign up online. Extra Life. Play games. Heal kids.
Welcome back to the Global SimRacing Channel's coverage of the Extra Life Pocono 500, Round 10 on the 2018 major schedule, as we look at our race driver there, our leader, which is Christian Challenger. But Sean, you want to talk a little bit about Tom Dreiling, who's worked, or Steve Driscoll, who's worked his way up into the top 10.
Yeah, well, not just about Steve, but about the team in general. Precision Motorsports, 3 drivers on that team here in this region for the Extra Life Pocono 500. Adam Faciapani and Kevin Hill and Steve Driscoll. Now, the livery, they are again supporting the National Multiple Sclerosis Society, and mainly a white and orange striped car. Now, each car is distinguished from one another by their front wing plates, the mirrors, and the roll hoop cam, and the rear wing color. Face is in the blue one, Hill is in the red, and Driscoll's in the orange. But the race sponsor Extra Life is located under the LED number panel on both sides of the car. Now, what's important about this is if either car gets some good time on air, we wanted to really make a point to let you know that www.nationalmssociety.org/donate is where you can help a great cause. Once again, the reason for the MS livery is to bring awareness to MS. And, well, unfortunately, I believe it's Steve's wife is suffering from that horrible disease.
A noble cause indeed, and there's so many things that these racers do here in the major series, just like racers in the real world, and we wish everybody the best there, and hopefully that'll be a successful cause that they have going on. Right now we're back under green. Christian Challenger, Ryan Worley, and Liam Quinn. Liam Quinn back into third. Richie Hearn out there in fourth. Blake Reynolds has managed to make his way into the top 5. No matter what Challenger does, Blake Reynolds seems to just match it. Okay, you want to lead a little bit? I'll just get into the top 5.
Well, and also remember, Challenger, he's going to be heading to pit road here probably within the next 7-ish laps. Because he's on 30 since he was last on pit road. Yep. You've had a slew of cautions.
There are another batch of cars that just came in. Kevin Hill, Matthew Thunhorse back there racing. They just took a pit stop this very last time. They'll be able to run a little longer than everybody else, assuming we can ever get a nice long green flag run. Eventually, Sean, they're going to run out of mulligans, and they'll actually have to start retiring once those spare cars are
Well,
gone.
no, we're seeing that already. We've got several casualties still sitting on the pit lane, not necessarily out of the race. Task is
big wiggle out of P2. Ryan Worley.
Boy,
he was trying to wheel that thing out of the corner, and he just about wheeled it right into the inside fence.
Yeah, I was watching that with you, Brian, and here it is on the replay.
Everything's okay. Everything's not okay.
Wow.
Whew.
Yikes.
Kind of reminded me of Rossi's from last night at Gateway. Any clips of that one?
Yeah, had a big view of that one, and Liam had to be thankful very much that Ryan Worley keep that car going straight.
Absolute. And now look at that. Liam Quinn giving up a spot. Richie Hearn side by side. Yep, no, Richie's going to tuck back in line there. Keep calling that the Long Pond straightaway because Long Pond, Pennsylvania is located due east of that straightaway.
Blake Reynolds back in 5th. Right on board with Richie Hearn. Sean, that move that Nick Kuhn made, remember where he stayed out and got to the front? Well, that's worked out for him. He's in 6th right now, racing all by himself behind Reynolds.
Worley, sorry to interrupt you there, Sue, but Worley got it all round back up and just made a move on Challenger for the lead.
Wow.
Is Challenger going to look to challenge back? No, he was kind of poking the nose out like, he's going to try and make a run at it, but now he gets into that dirty air and you just see the gap opening up for Worley.
We come back live, so there we're looking at Ryan Worley.
Out front and in charge of the Pocono 500.
I'm getting the feeling, boys, that things are beginning to settle down.
I don't know about that. I'm watching Kevin Hill, Lionel Callisto back here battling P18 all the way back. Is a major pack of cars right now. We got a couple of technical difficulties. We'll be right back with you. We'll keep calling the action live. As up front, Liam Quinn and Christian Challenger are battling it out, Soup.
Challenger wants that spot back as they go down the backstretch, heading into corner number 3.
Challenger can't be too aggressive here because he's going to be on pit road in the next couple laps.
And there comes Quinn underneath him. Quinn is going to move up into 2nd. They do that through the 3rd corner. Challenger looking to fight back underneath, has nothing for him. Quinn leads across the start-finish line. He's going to be in second. How far back is he to the leader? Well, it's about 0.8 of a second.
Oh, caution is out.
Vincent Labier.
0.27 off of that long pond straightaway.
Labier is loose off the turn there, Brian, and that didn't end well for him. He's going to get all the way down into the barrier, and that car is going to suffer more damage, and I know for a fact Labier has already cashed in on that spare car.
He went into the corner, and that thing was dancing all over that turn one. Got loose, he caught it, it got loose again, he caught it, and then it just tank slapped.
This will give us a good opportunity to get all of our gremlins spanked and put to bed without dinner. So let's take this short break. We'll be back in a minute to bring you more racing. Welcome back to the Global SimRacing Channel's coverage of the majors, round 10 here from Pocono. We have a lot to talk about here. First of all, before we had technical difficulties, we can talk about Leber had a spin, a solo spin all by himself. I think that's his second repair, so he's gone. But the big news was when everyone started to come down pit lane. Coming in third position, Liam Quinn stepped on the gas, I guess, a little bit, goosed the car. It came around on him. He put it into the wall, the tire barrier that separates the racetrack from pit lane, spun it around. Challenger got a little bit of it. Richie Hearn got a lot of it. So once again, the bad luck that comes with racing finds Richie Hearn.
I was watching that again, and I really think that he just had a lot of rear brake dialed into it, and I think that's what caused it to snap around. Because if we looked at it again, you would notice the car, like, he speeds up, like he's trying to catch up to the guy in front of him, and then all of a sudden it just steps out and goes to the right. So I think it was maybe more so he had a lot of rear brake dialed into it to help it turn. You know, if you're using any sort of brake whatsoever, maybe to help it turn a little bit. But you know, that's the thing. You know, reset your tools when you're coming down pit road. Dial a whole boatload of front brake into it. And that seems like that's what happened to me. And then, and also, there was a car that was leaving pit road and just completely spun out on its own, leaving his box too. So it was a very exciting moment here.
So Sean, Hearn is still out there. We're not quite sure where he stands in the world of fast repairs. Quinn certainly will have to take one.
We suspect that he may have used that one. He may be on the one right now.
Yeah, man. Boy, I don't know.
You don't fix wing damage in 6 seconds.
Yeah, that's true. I just, you know, I know Richie had told me he would hang on to it as long as he could. Keep that in his pocket. I've got to imagine the damage just felt like something he couldn't run with there.
Yeah.
So our leaders are, well, Nick Kuhn. Remember, we joked about Nick with that strategy to stay out, but it has worked for him. He's going to do it again. There are 7 cars that have stayed out. Kuhn, Hutchison, no surprise to see that. They seem to like that strategy. Ray Partridge, Dick Mueller, Matthew Thunhorst, Lionel Kalisto, and Jimbo Pfeiffer. So then the guys who have made the stop, who's leading there? Well, it's Michael Thompson.
All right, hey, listen, as we get ready to go green, I want to give a quick shout out to Joseph Cardamone, who's watching us from Australia. He's on his break right now. He's spending his break with us from work.
Probably, it's just about lunchtime for him, probably. Enjoyed that Vegemite sandwich, I think, with the Fosters. Wayne Hutchinson is chasing Nick Kuhn.
Shout out to Andrew Kinsella once again in the chat, pointing out that apparently front wing damage doesn't add any time in iRacing. It's the rear wing that takes up the issue. It takes up the time.
Sean,
so
the guy
very well could be.
The guy was watching from Australia and he's at work.
Yeah, he's at work. It's Monday, lunchtime.
It's Men at Work, I think, is from Australia, right?
That would be correct.
Okay, there you go. I enjoy his music. Ray Partridge in third. Dick Mueller.
In other news, water's still wet.
I'm gonna need a moment.
Oh man, we got a long way to go. We're only 60 laps into this one.
Yeah, Wayne Hutchinson's up there in P2. He's got some wing damage, but he's hanging on really nicely. You've got Nick Kuhn out front. Ray Partridge hanging out there in the third position. Dick Mueller fourth. Matthew Thunhorst in the 5th position. And if you look back there in 6th, Lionel Kalisto has rebounded nicely. There's 2 Alliance drivers that are starting to make their way towards the front.
And Blake Reynolds keeps climbing the ladder. Here he comes. Ooh, get a run. Nowhere to go. And nowhere to go.
Well, Archer was the one that was hung out.
Yeah,
so now...
Look at Archer move over and leave room for his teammate there.
He knows the pecking order over there and riding a shotgun. Jimbo got a piece of the wall there coming off the turn. Watch out. Michael Thompson right there. And again, this has been a story of runs, right, guys? We've seen it cause a little bit of trouble. Driscoll coming up the inside. Wow.
That was a power move right there.
See if I can find what happened to our leader there. Challenger back in 12th position now.
Man, Kevin O'Keefe.
Oh, big problems out back. Put it out.
Oh, no.
2-3 cars involved.
Yeah, Adam Fassipani, Mark Redeker. I believe it started with contact with both of them.
Adam is sitting on his roll cage, or roll bar. Redeker's moving away slowly, and then maybe Drew Lalonde got a part of that.
Oh.
Drew missed it.
It was Brian McGreevy who got a piece of it to go by.
Just a little whoop, and away we go.
Wow.
Since we're having fun with replays, maybe on board with McGreevy will be interesting here, and you can see how not to avoid one. Here we go. You make the call at home. I'll give you a little tip. Where Brian goes, go in a different direction. It's all looking good here, and then ouch, right there.
Yeah.
Nowhere to go.
Well, we're not alone. The yellow laundry has been prevalent today in these races here in the majors at Pocono for the Pocono 500. And, well, we've picked up quite a few ourselves, but I'll say it again, man. You know, there comes a point you get to that section of the race where the herd thins out a little bit and guys maybe get a little bit more focused, knowing that there is a chance, right? Because several of your opponents have fallen off. Now you've got a chance to maybe have a better result than you might have thought you had coming in. So I think this is going to settle down. I can't call it when, but it will happen. I guarantee you.
Well, I tell you, I am well versed in Broadway show tunes. So if you need me to dip into my repertoire, let me know. I can start whipping those out if we need them.
Seen a few drivers come down the pit lane now. Jimbo Pfeiffer, one of them. Lionel Kalisto, Thunhorst. Scott Corbin's in. Marcus Tracy, yes, he's gone in. Tom Dreiling. Of course, Brian McGreevy needs to get in there.
Top four are going to stay out. Kuhn, Hutchinson, Partridge, and Mueller. I am a big fan of Nick Kuhn and Ray Hutchinson now. I questioned the strategy earlier on. They proved me wrong. I love what they're doing.
I'm sitting here thinking about this. They could be playing an overall strategy game. They got 26 laps on this tank of fuel right now, probably getting closer to 40. So if you round 13 off of that, puts them to 120. No, it might be closer if they get a couple more cautions. I mean, that's the only thing that's making any sense to me of why these guys are risking staying out like that. Because maybe they know something I don't, which is entirely possible.
Working lap number 64. Richie Hearn with an all good Liam, no worries. Now that was in regards to Liam putting the car into the pit walls and bouncing back and getting back into Richie Hearn. That's my partner. He's a good racer, good broadcaster, and a good guy.
And a chef. A really good one too. If anybody follows him on Facebook, I know you do, Brian. He can whip up a dish, man.
Tell the Richie Hearn story. I think I've told this before, but I think it was 1986. I think it's his first year in Indy. I could be wrong on the year, but our family has our family Indianapolis pool every year, and my mom, we draw him out of the hat. My mom drew out Richie Hearn. She said, "Who in the hell is Richie Hearn?" I remember it to this day. He went on to finish third, became her favorite race driver. Little did Mama know that her baby boy would be calling races that Richie was in and sitting alongside of him in the GSRC broadcast booth. Life is a winding road.
I thought life was a highway.
That's that too. My life's a winding road. I envy the people who have a highway. You can hear the sounds of Pocono. We laid out of that one so you can get the ambiance of Pocono Raceway.
They're releasing an album next week called The Sounds of Pocono.
Sounds of Pocono.
A couple birds, engines.
If the engines were off, you could hear the very rare red-shafted gilded flicker, which is migrating right now. Sitting in the white pines of Pennsylvania.
Yeah. That's a species art.
I've got a friend of mine that lives in the Allentown part of Pennsylvania, and he comes to this track quite often. Absolutely loves it. One of his favorite places on Earth here, and has provided tons of photos over the years.
Living there in Allentown, it's hard to keep a good man down in the world to Billy Joel. Right now, Nick Kuhn, it's hard to keep him down as he comes across the line, working lap number 66. Hey, if you multiply 66 3 times, that's almost half. That's almost a third of the way. I almost said halfway. Hutchinson in second. Partridge, Mueller, and Reynolds your top 5. Everybody now settling down.
Yep, settling down. One driver's struggling, though. Back here, it's Adam Faciapani. That car just dropping like a rock right now on the restart. I believe he's got most of the damage repaired on that car, but it was asleep at the start, that's for sure.
Oh, my. Let's go to 13th position. That's Henry Bennett, who just made a move around Kevin Hill, and he's bringing Mr. Excitement with him, Liam Quinn. Uh-oh. Marcus Tracy.
Get out.
Got into it with Tom Dreiling. Oh, and then going by, it was Adam Faciapani.
I mean, I feel bad. I feel like I almost cursed Adam there.
Was his nickname Face? Does he get a face full of Tom Dreiling?
Yes, he did.
Right, he wrecked right in front of the billboard there for the mascot to Pocono Raceway. The Foxy thing.
Boy, that's a crab walking Elite West IR18 if I ever saw it. Whew.
Bang.
Here's...
Oh, just... He predicted raw.
Yeah. It's the old saying, not on the left side, not on the right side, but right in the middle.
Hey, well, there's an old NASCAR guy that would say, you know, you aim for when you see a wreck, aim for where they are, because chances are they're not going to be there by the time you get there. It was a wily old veteran. I remember that much.
I believe it might have been AJ Foyt. That's a strategy I've used when with parked cars. It's not as effective. Just saying.
Surprisingly, the parked cars, they are exactly right where you leave.
No, they stay there. Just a little bit of reminiscing back to the days when alcohol played a bigger part of my life. Well, right now, Nick Kuhn, Wayne Hutchinson, Bray Partridge, Nick Mueller, and Blake Reynolds. Boys, does it come down? I think we really need to take another look at the sportsman category, because I think it's going to be youth. I don't know if these old guys are going to be able to hang in here. This is a long race.
Yeah, quite a bit to go here. Soup, I think until we get a long green flag run, I don't think there's any strategy right now, to be honest with you. Other than just trying to maintain track position every time you get a caution flag. I think we know at this point you go anymore. Yeah, boy, there's Tom Dreiling just grabbing it in. I honestly think, you know, like I said, until we get a full green flag run into these guys, I don't know that anybody's really revealed any cards to us yet. Like I said, you want to keep track position, but we've already seen if you put about 15 to 20 laps on the car, well, then they decide to come in and, you know, change it out, fill up, and put the new shoes on her. But I don't know. We'll see. It's still it's cliche now. There's a long way to go.
The only card that to kind of echo what you're saying, the only card that I can really see playing is you know, Nick Kuhn and Wade Hutchinson. They're playing this longer, the long game here. So it could work out. I've been corrected a little bit that you know, the pit delta may work out for them. So we'll just have to see how the race pans out for these guys, because I'm thinking that they would really want a long green flag run. I don't think they want these short cautions, because all that does is just bunch everybody up. Ideally, if they could, like, especially Kuhn, if he could run 10 solid laps of clean green flag racing, he could build up a buffer, especially because the nearest person that pitted was Blake Reynolds in 5th. he could build up a couple second buffer on that, which when the pit cycle comes back out, it would put him a couple seconds ahead. But every second that you add on the racetrack adds another second that you can play with after your pit stop.
I'm telling you, the advantage is to the young guys with the elastic bladders and the healthy prostate. I really think that's how it's going to boil down to. Guys like Dallas Petraska, these kids that have the stamina.
I mean, I don't think iRacing has a brown flag, so I think we'll continue the race.
No, but they're working on it.
They're working on that.
Hashtag soon.
Is that new development? That new build?
I go back to thinking of a story that I heard. This was from a driver named Jan Koemans, who raced in the MX-5 World Tour, won 3 championships there, and his girlfriend locked herself out, and she was pounding on the door, and he was just yelling, "You just wait, just wait." She had to wait till the pit window opened, where he pulled the car in pit lane, jumped out of his rig, opened the door, let her in, went back, won the race. That's how you sim race. She's now married to someone else. All right, we are going to be going green here one more time.
It's one of those times that you make sure that the sim room has a lock on it.
Super, you sure we're going to be going green only one more time?
Well, we're going to be going green at least one more time. I know that we're not going to finish under yellow.
At least
How about a
once.
hard charger award? How about Ray Partridge? We talked about the red shafted gilded flicker being one of the birds here at Pocono. We didn't talk about Partridge. 32nd to 3rd. Pace car is in. Nick Kuhn and Wayne Hutchison go across the line.
I just can't help but notice all this room that these guys are giving each other on these restarts. I can't imagine if we had a restart with 10 to go that you would see the similar amount of gaps that you're seeing there. I mean, look, there's a big gap right there between 4th and 5th, and yeah, I'm just kind of surprised.
It's already getting crazy though here. Back for 6th. Geez, Thompson with a run on Driscoll. Challenger right there.
Our director is so good. I'm looking at it and I look over and he's already on it. Driscoll, Thompson, Challenger, Worley, the blue car, and Rutgers Kevin O'Keefe. Was it this race that he had trouble in earlier? I think it was. Seems like a long time ago, but I do believe
it was.
It was this race.
It was maybe our first.
He was the first caution.
Was the first caution? Yeah.
It has been 84 years. There was under that caution. There was, I believe, the voice of the admin that basically told everybody to get their ducks in a row, poop in a group, and all of that. So
yeah,
I have a feeling usually when the admin speaks up, these drivers tend to listen a little bit. But you got a good battle for second.
We certainly do. Blake Reynolds been working on Wayne Hutchinson, and he's going to get that done. Brian, we used to call those come to Jesus meetings.
Yeah. I've had a few of those. I've been on both sides of those.
You know what's funny, boys? We sit and we watch and all the nonsense that's going on, but eventually the cream rises, and here's Blake Reynolds sitting in second.
Yeah, that's...
In other news, water is still wet. The sky is still blue.
Blake is still fast.
Exactly.
The other one you got to keep an eye on is back in 14th. It's Liam Quinn. He is also fast. He had that horrible pit incident. His car is brand new. He's picking up a spot right now.
You look just in front of him. That's Henry Bennett. Or a couple spots now in front of him. That green car, that's Henry Bennett. That's our pole sitter. Boy, I don't know if the strategy is going to work out good for Nick Kuhn staying on the longer play here. Blake Reynolds just ripped off a 42.85 to Nick's 43 flat.
Yeah, Mueller just had a problem, guys. I was actually watching that, and I think there was contact here
Oh, it was a little bit of a love tap from Steve Driscoll. Steve said, "Hello."
Yeah, but I think that love tap might have damaged his car.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's tracking right. At least
No,
in that angle.
It doesn't. No, he is way off, and he's bringing it in.
Well, you know,
Oh,
Driscoll got him right in the left rear.
is that tire like up in the air?
Yeah,
it is.
Right, that's right where he got punched.
Oh, wow. I didn't even see that. Yep.
So, don't know. Uh-oh, I hear something going on out there.
Oh, 68 car was parked.
Oh, it's McGreevy.
Oh, no, McGreevy. Yeah. That was, well, Eric Carmen, I think, made an appearance, Soup.
All by himself?
He was all by himself on that one. Or was it netcode? Watch this. Yazik, watch this, man.
Yeah.
His car took an abrupt left turn, and there was no contact there at all. They were awful close. Here, let's go on board with McGreevy.
Yeah.
That was odd. That was actually odd.
That was.
Netcode. Well, that was a hardware.
Yeah, maybe a hardware issue. Wow, that.
I was in the supermarket the other day, banged into one of those displays of olives, knocked it all on the floor, tried to blame it on netcode, but they wouldn't buy it.
Okay, well,
Nick Kuhn is blinking all over the place like a Christmas tree.
He is. Yeah, and that's obviously that's bad for Blake Reynolds. He didn't know where to put the car.
He's going to know where to put it now. Yeah. Sends it onto the inside of turn 2 and move Blake Reynolds up to P1.
Put Kuhn in my rear view mirror. That's one way.
That's the easiest way to keep any trouble out.
Now, the scenario last time this happened was Kuhn was able to hang on to positions pretty well. Not the case for Hutchison. Wayne Hutchison had to fall back. Wayne's still in third. Challenger in sixth. Yeah.
About 2.5 seconds off the lead is Wayne.
You're looking there. That's Partridge. Driscoll just made it around the outside. The yellow car going underneath. That's the familiar Elite West machine of Richie Hearn.
Boy, and they're having quite a battle right now. Hey, listen, Ray's picked up 24 spots. He won't give any away.
Oh, man, he's on it.
And that blue car that went around the top side of Mr. Hearn, that is Mr. Excitement, Liam Quinn. Sean, you got to know Liam Quinn a little bit when we covered the Absolute Beginners, the IndyCar league that they ran down there.
Yes. Yep, he's definitely familiar with this car.
Yeah.
Yeah, as we approach the halfway point, Sue, I think a lot of these drivers have the same thing in mind. All right, maybe it's time to give a little bit of space and maybe not put too much pressure on each other here right now. We're going to get a chance to do that with probably about 30 to go. I talked about needing that green flag run to see what kind of strategy would play out. Well, we've started one, so let's see if we can keep her going.
Just amazing. If you're just tuning in and you saw Blake Reynolds out in front, you'd say, well, that makes sense. It took him 78 laps to get there and several dodged bullets. Let's go ahead and we're looking at Worley in 5th, coming up on Thompson. Passing, gentlemen, has not been as difficult as I thought. I think if they get a run, you can go around them.
Or run into him.
Or run into him. Okay.
Just plow right through them. That's the easiest way to do it.
And while we look at the blue car of Worley in 4th, we don't need to go there, but a similar painted blue car, Liam Quinn, has now worked his way up to 8th. It's coming on the back of Driscoll.
You know, I see teamwork going on back in P13, guys. P13 back to... Oh, hang on. Who is that? Oh, pit stop's coming in. There we go. Sorry, I thought we had somebody going off track.
And who is it? Well, it's...
Nick Kuhn, Wayne Hutchinson.
Yep.
Now, that's 44 laps with a lot of caution. So it'll be interesting to see where these guys stack out with the green flag run.
Can we go back to Henry Bennett O'Keefe? Oh, jeez, this is crazy. O'Keefe just almost made contact with Bennett and still having trouble here. That was Ray Partridge he almost got into there. O'Keefe's been in danger this whole race.
We'll take a look at that one. It settles down a little bit on the live action. We'll ride on board with Rector's Kev. Where are you going, Kev? Oh.
Yeah.
Our director pans over. Man, that shows it.
And Kevin's in. He's a Rift guy, so he's in VR doing this right now, virtual reality. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, but he's got a headset, a goggle headset on, and he's seeing this in real life. Man, very vivid. Your reaction time's just got to be really quick in his car.
Well, he's going to need a trip to the chiropractor tomorrow, the way that he's having to turn his head left and right to see what's going on around him.
Now, of note, Wayne Hutchinson is behind Blake Reynolds, but just about a couple seconds up the way is Nick Kuhn. So Kuhn's pace seems to be paying off, and it doesn't look like Blake is making any inroads on him. Now, that's just a difference of 20-something lap pressure tires.
Yeah, well, you know, the Kuhns-Hutchinson strategy worked really well last time because that yellow, as you pointed out, Yazek, came at the perfect time. They probably weren't hoping to have one. They didn't get the one they needed this time.
Well, I think for Kuhn, it's not going to be a big issue. And
right.
then even for Wayne, as long as the caution doesn't come out now, he should be fine. But Kuhn, I think what they're looking for is if these leaders pit in the next, I would say somewhere in the next 7 to 10 laps, it'll be interesting to see the race off of pit road between Reynolds and Kuhn.
And it's interesting because, like you said, Kuhn was able to make that stop, did not go a lap down. He's still ahead of Reynolds.
Yeah, and he's faster. Nick Kuhn, 43.15 to a 43.49 from Blake Reynolds. So if you think about it, he's gaining that back a little bit on the other side.
Yeah, so once again, every time I make a strategy call on Nick Kuhn, I end up proving myself wrong. Nick, I love you. You're doing great.
That'd be some kind of like 4D chess or something.
Yeah.
You got to plan your moves well out in advance.
Well, he's got his stop made. He's still on the lead lap. He's faster than the leader. That all seems good news.
It does. Let's see here. Nick Kuhn pit road 4 laps ago, and he's in a window to make it on 4 more stops. Maybe 3 if you're getting 40, but that was with a lot of cautions.
Well, if you're ever in a strategy that you need a race that have lots of cautions, this might be the one. But here's the deal with Kuhn. I know we keep harping on it, but he was our leader, or at least was racing second. He's now pulling away from Reynolds because he's faster. Yep. When Reynolds makes his stop, I think Kuhn's going to jump him.
Oh, he's gonna well leapfrog.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Kuhn was a second or 2 seconds back from Reynolds, and came out about 2 seconds in front of him, and now that gap is up a considerable amount.
And even if the caution comes out, that works too. They'll just stay out and move to the front.
And that's the thing where Kuhn's at right now. It could go either way from him, and he's happy. He's going to stay on his strategy. Good battle right here. Christian Challenger, Richie Hurd.
That's what I'm watching, exactly. Liam Quinn. Yeah.
Snoop and I are talking about chess, and here's Sean watching Rocky.
Yeah, well, I mean, we got some dudes, some all-world dudes in this battle right here, and Quinn is leading that charge, but Michael Thompson, nobody's got anything for Thompson yet. That's been one fast Elite West IR18 today. And I don't think it's any big surprise that his teammate is just 2 cars behind him.
The racing gods are fickle. Quinn put the car in the wall and Richie Hearn ran into him. And what do? The deities put Quinn right out there in front of Richie Hearn again.
Always funny how that works.
My dad would tell Liam right now that the tree remembers, the axe forgets. So just keep that in mind as Richie's behind him.
You saw a good move right back there. Henry Bennett went underneath Driscoll to take the position, and Driscoll's going to try the over-under to come back, but it's not going to work. It's actually probably going to cost him another spot as Kevin O'Keefe sneaks by on the outside, and the caution is out. It's the 0-0.
Oh,
Dreiling.
Fulton, Jimbo Pfeiffer, and Dreiling. Wow.
Oh, Jimbo, he did nothing wrong.
Oh, no.
Tom's cars just went right on him.
Tom hit the yellow line. And that's not the first time we've seen that happen. You don't want to dance with death down there on that yellow line, do you, Brian?
No.
No.
I had it, I was practicing for the Lionheart Series race back at Pocono, and I caught the apron once down there in turn 1, and that's all it took for me to give myself a healthy gap right there. You can see here on here with Redeker, you notice he kept about a quarter of a lane right there on the bottom. That's a happy spot.
And all right, so while we've got this moment, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but little significance in today's race, and it's not an even number or anything, but the majors this week, it's celebrating its 61st race since its start. Now, why is that significant? Well,
why is that significant?
Well, the majors is actually, this is the first season of the majors as we know it, right? It started off as the Northwest Majors originally, where it was just limited, Soup, as you know, to just drivers from the Northwest at that time. And I think California was the other region that was allowed, right?
Mike Willett actually started it for only drivers on his actual block that he lived, but he found out there weren't enough, so he had to open it up. So go on, continue.
Well, no, I was just, okay, so we started as the Northwest Majors, and then they opened the boundaries a little bit to bring in some other clubs, and became the Pacific Majors, which that's where you could still find them on the internet at pacificmajors.com. If you're interested in joining this series, it's open to anybody. Go read all the rules and details. Anybody can have a shot to run here with these guys. This, in my opinion, for my money, this is the premier special event series on iRacing, because every race is in fact a special event for these guys. But they've come a long way. Now it's open to the world, and we dropped the Pacific version of it because guess what? You can live in any region that iRacing covers, and you're in. Yeah, if you're in Japan, we want you here. You got a chance to run in the international split. Our friends from V8s Online cover that, and so it's accommodating for anybody who wants to get involved.
I think interplanetary would be the next step.
Right, yeah, and I know Mars is working on their program right now.
Yes.
That might be a season 2 build for next season for iRacing possible.
I'm with that. Okay, how about our leader out there? Am I showing Lynn Kinch out there in front?
Yeah, that would be right. Nick Kuhn going to be cycling up to the P2 spot.
So Reynolds came in and made, as we talked about, Reynolds came in and made that stop. Kuhn stayed out, cycled around. Kuhn's got about 9 more laps on his tires, but that didn't seem to bother him before.
Nah. The biggest thing for Kuhn is that pretty much takes his advantage away that he had, and I'm sure he's a little upset about that.
Kinch is going to come in for a stop. The driver's up ahead. We'll get the wave around. Hutchinson, Partridge. Now, see, this is interesting. Hutchinson, I want to talk about this because he was not able to get around Reynolds. He was actually a lap down. He's going to get his lap back, but he's going to lose. He was only 1 car behind Kuhn on the track. It was Kuhn, Bennett, and then Hutchinson. But because he didn't get that lap. Now, Hutch is going to be all the way at the back of the field. Sad news for Nick Kuhn. He loses his racing partner. They were both on the same strategy.
It's kind of like when you're driving down the expressway and you've been behind the same car for, 30, 40, 50 miles, and then they pull off. You just go, oh, there goes my partner.
Yep. You can pull off with them, but a lot of times you'll get in trouble for that. That's kind of
It's called stalking.
Yes.
Which, last I checked, is frowned upon in all 48 continental United States.
As it should be.
I mean, stalking's a dirty word, though. I prefer obsessively shadowing.
I'm staying out of it, man. Sorry.
Come on, we have 108 more laps to go. You can't avoid us forever. Nick Kuhn in first. Blake Reynolds in second. Few drivers before we get to the guy that I think was going to end up winning this one. Ryan Worley and Michael Thompson. It's the driver in fifth. You got to keep your eyes out, boys and girls. Liam Quinn. He won Indy, and I think he's fast here too. Pace car. The pace car peels, and so do the engines. Nick Kuhn leading them down into the first corner.
We are just about to the halfway pole in this Pocono 500. And still racing tight 3 wide. Wow. Back here, Wayne Hutchinson, and it was just for a moment. Wayne Hutchinson, Lynn Kitchlow, and Ray Partridge all 3 wide coming out of the turn.
Good battle for the lead. They give it to Blake Reynolds using the high side. High, wide, and handsome. Harry Gant would have been impressed with that.
We got a car coming in the pit that peeled off there. Oh, that was McGreevy.
We're looking at the fluorescent blue car on the inside. That is Ryan Worley. The star-spangled blue car on the top side, that is Nick Kuhn.
Bit of a truly train right here.
Thompson. Quinn has got around Richie Hearn. Quinn is coming.
Richie going through an inside look. Needs some teammates to drop down. Good. Liam's going to hold that spot on the top, and Richie's going to fall back in line. And pokes right back out. Sniffs the draft. Comes back. Takes it down to the inside. Not going to quite get a good enough bite to clear.
All this going on behind Blake Bennett, who has about a 1.5 second lead over Kuhn. I come up with a new one there. That'd be Blake Reynolds, not to be confused with Brian Bennett. Or Henry Bennett. Or Bennett like Becker, for that matter. I'm out of them now.
That was Beckham.
Yeah, that was.
Boris Becker was a
I was thinking Lorena Bobbitt. So that's, we were way off kilter.
They're all missing Joe Peak now, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't laugh, Soup. Don't laugh.
It only encourages me.
Yes. Well, listen, this is the way you go racing here. These guys, look at that whirly up on the top slide there.
But I'm loving it.
I'm sorry, that's Quinn.
Richie is digging on the bottom to the point that he's got the left side tires underneath the yellow line, riding the rumble strips, which it works in 1 and 2, or it works in turns 3 because it's a little bit flatter, so the car doesn't de-wedge, and it actually helps it bite a little bit. Yeah, turn 1, you want to stay as far away from that apron as you can. That's probably why Liam sets the car up to run 3 lanes up. He doesn't want to take any chance. Slow car on the bottom there. It's another yellow car. That was the 06.
It's Tom Dreiling. Yeah, more trouble for Dreiling, unfortunately. Yeah, it got worse for Tom. Actually, yeah, it started out of the turn, and he is definitely off pace.
Just behind that battle of teammates that's Henry Bennett lurking in the background. Oh, Richie's just digging on the bottom. He's going to try and get it done this time. He's tried this move at least 2 or 3 times in the last couple corners. Each time it fizzles out. I think he's got it this time.
Yep.
Oh, big wiggle on the top, too.
Uh-oh. Oh. Richie's car was just sliding through there. I don't think he had very much control of that, Brian.
He was hoping.
Yeah.
Holding the wheel one direction, going, come on, come on, come on, come on. I've been there a couple times, too. You're praying to whatever deity will listen that your car bites.
While we look at that, it's starting to heat up for second now. Worley got really loose. He's going to have to give this one up to Liam Quinn. He got into the wash of Nick Kuhn and just had to back out of it. Worley happy to sacrifice that spot and still be racing.
Ooh, Marcus Tracy just made a little contact with Paul Slavonic. That was really close. Slavonic was on the outside, and they made a little bit of contact, and Paul's able to save that car. Oh, awesome. We've got a replay of this. Look at just how close, how marginal this was. There they are, side by side. Slavonic on the outside. It was just a little tire rub there between the two.
There, we dodged the yellow flag there.
We did. We really, really did.
And now Slavonic is being gobbled up. That is Travis Warling. Warling sits inside the top 5 and points. Oh my!
Gonna be okay, Paul. Breathe. Breathe, Paul. Breathe.
Hey, boys.
Paul's used to racing in, he's a kart racer. He's used to racing in close quarters here. Oh, look at this, 3 wide. Marcus Tracy with the move.
Everybody just got the message that we're halfway there. Unlike Bon Jovi, we want to get to the end of this.
Richie Hearn makes a move
that up.
I did.
Okay.
I'm just trying to get to the end. Richie Hearn just made the move on Worley. He moves up into 4th now.
Boy, and what a run Worley gets coming down the straightaway and then has to back out of the gas.
Just get that car to bite a little bit better. It'll work out for him. And you kind of see what he's trying to do.
Hard to get it to bite when you're right there in the wake, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did I hear Bennett's pitting? Yeah, Brian Bennett's in, guys.
Brian Bennett.
And he's away.
Looking at this battle here, this is Michael Thompson, Henry Bennett. Henry Bennett underneath Michael gets that pass made. And not far behind, don't forget about this guy, Christian Challoner.
Just lurking.
Yep. Let's drop back to 10th. Here's a driver we haven't talked much about. Lionel Callisto. Steve Driscoll's got him in his sights.
Yeah, you know what? The little train has been pretty good today so far, Soup. He's been lucky to avoid most of the trouble. Car looks clean. He's in 10th. Driscoll's putting up a good fight, but right now Lionel has got some clean air in front of him to work with, so he can keep ahead of Driscoll here if he plays it carefully.
Back of the very back of your screen there, you saw Scott Corbin just get underneath Kevin O'Keefe. O'Keefe now fighting back. Corbin qualified in 33rd. Racing now in 12th. O'Keefe again.
It's so fun to be looking up the front stretch and watch these cars dart out.
Oh, maybe a little bit of the wall there from Corbin. Now we'll go up to P3. On the top side, Queen gets around Worley. Woo.
We'll go on board with Ryan Worley here. Yeah!
Oh my. So it's check his luggage for stolen towels because he's checked out. Blake Reynolds up by 3 seconds on Nick Kuhn. Richie Hearn beginning to come now on Kuhn, back by a half second. Quinn in 4th. All the drivers up front have been out there for about 16 laps on this on this tank of fuel, except for Nick Kuhn.
Yeah, he is on 26 laps, so that 10-lap difference there. Which Kuhn is only about 3 seconds back, so I'll be curious to see how that delta works around for him on the other side. Because I want to say he doesn't want to venture too much further back than that, because then he'll be at risk of being in Blake Reynolds' wake when he comes back out.
Exactly. He wants to be close enough where he can make that stop and still come out on the lead lap. I think he's pushing it right now. In fact, Hearn is coming.
But maybe, I mean, like I said, Kuhn might just be on his own thing.
Yeah.
I mean, if he could stretch a little bit more out of that tank, if he can get 13 more laps out of it, he could basically, it's 2 stops for him from there. Everybody else has at least 3 stops.
Here comes Richie. He'll have the momentum. He gets underneath Nick. I think he should be able to finish this. If he doesn't, he can pin him behind McGreevy. He does.
Over under. Oh, and Richie just sends it off into the corner from the top. Nick gets a little bit of wake from the bottom.
Ooh, he kind of slammed the door on him there.
He did.
You're past halfway. There's no more give and take.
Now, if viewers aren't familiar with the majors and you're starting to laugh at us by to start to calculate who can get there, and if this thing were to go green all the way, it could go green all the way. That's very, very possible. These races have a tendency to settle down.
Richie in that camera angle getting underneath Brian McGreevy. Richie Hearn running a very solid P2 now.
Yep, and I'm really positive this is where Richie wants to be this time of the race right now, aside from up front and in first, but this is not looking too bad right now. He's got enough clean track in front of him, Brian, that obviously that car is now fast. Watch it. He's pulling away real quickly here from Nick Kuhn.
Yeah, Richie's in a very happy spot right now where he's got all that clean air in the world in front of him, kicking off the wake behind him. He's just going to settle off into a groove. I'll be curious to see his lap times versus Blake. Last time by, Blake was faster, but I think that was Richie was dealing with some traffic. We're looking out the back of, nope, we're jumping up to Blake. Richie was faster. Not by much, but just barely. I mean, 1/1000th of a second, but you know.
Yeah, it didn't get much closer than that.
It does. There could be a tie.
Yeah.
You know, one thing also to keep in mind as we talk about this thing going green, there are two splits. There's the pro split that we're in right now, and there's an AM split. A lot of the drivers, my goodness, look at Quinn now making a move on Worley. They got around the car of McGreevy, the lap car. They are side by side. Cialis Bathtubs out of 3. The momentum is going to go to Nick Kuhn. Making this top split is important. Maybe a lot of the drivers that are farther back spent a lot of time practicing, but maybe not in race trim. Maybe they were working really hard to get the car faster for qualifying so they could make the race. The drivers who are comfortably in the field may be a little better in race trim, and now that we've lost a few of the drivers, we might be able to get a real run going here.
That's very possible. You know, a lot of these guys could spend a lot of time, you know, dialing it in for qualifying, and then maybe, you know, you get into the practice session and you get into actual race practice session and you find tinker with it.
Everyone wants to make the pro split because you get to be on GSRC. You don't want to miss an opportunity to have Soup and Crackers and Yazik mispronounce your name. Going underneath is Quinn. Can he finish the job this time? I saw Richie Hearn close the door.
Yeah, he closed
That's
it.
how you do it.
He didn't slam it closed. That was a gentle close. But now, I think Kuhn's going to be in the wake there. So I don't think he's going to expect any kind of crossover. But Kuhn is going to be under attack from Worley right behind him. I keep thinking Worley's car is sponsored by RC Cola.
You know what? That is the exact shade. I think you're all over it, Brian. Yes.
I haven't had an RC. I haven't had an RC in a long time. Especially, you know, Darlington next week in the NASCAR side of things. A throwback, you know. Look at Henry Bennett, too. Keep an eye on him. We're looking back at Kevin O'Keefe right now. Want to jump up just a little bit. There we go. Henry Bennett, our pole sitter, got caught up in some early shenanigans and now very methodically has worked his way back up towards the front, sitting in P6, running very competitive lap times.
Kevin O'Keefe with trouble on track. Oh, dropping spots all of a sudden. The car has just gone away from him. What happened to O'Keefe?
Bring it into the pits.
Break something?
Well, he had Driscoll behind him.
Oh, he clatters the wall. Yeah.
And maybe Driscoll got a piece of him as well.
Yeah, that's a good break. We know he's out of car, so.
Oh, what a shame. It was going so well. Soup, I don't think there was contact, honestly.
Just the wall.
Oh, no. Okay. Driscoll might have caught the right front on him there as he was bouncing off the wall, but that obviously broke something really bad for Kevin.
Kuhn
Worley's in. Stops are happening.
Kuhn did not go nearly as long as I was expecting. So now Kuhn, let's see here. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. How did Worley beat him into the pits? Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah, go look at it. I mean, you're going to see it right here. Here comes Worley, and you can see, you know, Kuhn slowing down in front of him. Here comes Worley. Excuse me, pardon me. Got this. Thank you. He just dialed a whole bunch of front brake into it and just out. I mean, that was from 10 car lengths back to 3 car lengths out front. That was just impressive.
And Kuhn has now been crushed in track position as Reynolds is a ton in front of him. In fact, Richie Hearn gets around Kuhn as well.
But now Worley has stayed out barely right in front of Blake Reynolds. So that pit entry by Worley easily saved him being a lap. Now, if we use that measurement right there, that was 35 laps on fuel. Finally, we get a full green flag run in here that we could sort this out. So Blake Reynolds should be on pit road within the next 7.
That math works for me, Brian.
It's basic stuff. I can handle that.
And 35 and 35 is 70, which means you'd have to get to lap 130. And don't...
If someone makes it to 130 from here with the laps that they're running, I'm bringing them in for inspection. You got a second fuel tank, or was Smokey Unick's old trick? You got about 5 miles worth of gas line in it.
Yeah, Smokey would run line all over the car.
Somehow it worked.
We're here with these Indy cars. Have any of you guys ever seen the sidecar Indy car that he ever took to Indianapolis?
Sidecar?
Back in, I think it's like 1966, 67. Yeah, the driver actually sat on the left in like a sidecar. It had 2 wheels, and then the other main part of the car was to the right. Give it a look. Smokey Unit. Most amazing car. Didn't qualify, but it's cool.
Looked amazing, though.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure it was bad fast. Not bad fast enough to qualify, but it was still a fast car, I'm sure. I'm not familiar with that, Soup. I'll have to Google that like everyone else is running to do right now.
Yeah. It's a sidecar.
Don't leave the broadcast though to Google anything. Just open another tab.
Yeah, I'll pull it up on your phone.
Right, exactly. Well, this has turned into basically a group of 2-car battles right now, guys. On track, everybody working in pairs. Slavonic leading Travis Warling right now, and Warling's putting a lot of pressure on him, but hasn't really done anything to just get, make any kind of a bold move to get by him. Hey, they're just riding.
Here comes the green flag run. Liam Quinn coming in.
Our director did the work for us.
Yeah, look at that.
The link to that car is in our YouTube chat if you want to take a look at it.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Richie Hearn was making big inroads there on Blake Reynolds, too. That gap is now about 2.5 seconds. Nick Kuhn being up there in front of him just kind of put up a little bit of weight. But, I mean, Richie, he's been ripping off laps faster. Now that he's a little bit back from Nick, I want to see how the lap... Oh, here comes Richie to pit row. Yep. Undergun, going for the undercut. I like it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I was just about to say something there, Brian. I think Richie's got a plan here.
Now, it might not work out. It might not mean a whole hill of beans, but let's see what Blake does. And more importantly, because Blake Reynolds is in mostly clean air. What the key to this part of the strategy will be for Richie is if he can get out on the track and he can get in clean air. Full of fuel, Richie's rolling. God, this is going to be very close if he can
Reynolds
get...
is in.
No,
Reynolds
it's not,
is in.
because Blake has decided to cover and come in.
He's gone for the switch around, and now...
Challenger going to take over the lead of this race, guys.
Running 1-2, Blake Reynolds, Kristen Challenger. Why don't we just start with like 70 to go and put those two out there?
Might as well.
Yeah.
Blake Reynolds rolling. Longer pit stop than Richie by about a second. This is where the battle's going to be interesting. There we go. Richie's coming down the front stretch right now. Blake Reynolds is getting up to speed. Richie is in the draft of Worley. Oh, this is going to be so close. But I think Blake's going to edge it out by just a hair. These guys are sailing around 2:02, and Blake is up to speed. But now that gap is a lot shorter between the two of them.
It is. And boy, with the pace Richie had going into that pit stop, I've got a feeling here, as long as he can clear Worley, he's got a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, now Worley this is a legitimate spot here for Worley.
That's very true.
But I'm not sure if he has the pace of Hearn.
Richie, the key here is going to be Richie. Here he comes. Getting a big run down the front stretch. pulls out at the last minute, clean air, send it off into turn 1, move Richie Hearn up 1 more spot.
Probably not the worst thing to happen to Lyle Worley right now. If Hearn has the pace to run down Reynolds, he can maybe bring Ryan with him.
Now, Christian Challoner, let's take a look up there. Christian Challoner, 35 laps since he's been on pit road. If he could stretch another 5 out of this thing, he might have snookered everybody.
You think he can get another 5 out of it?
He doesn't even need to get another 5 because he can get another 2.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
35, he can go 36.
Oh, that's right. I happened to glance over at my timing and scoring. I went, hey, wait a minute. Oh, he's coming in. But still.
Little train right behind him, guys.
Yep. There's Lionel right there. Slovaknik. Slovaknik on pit road. So now this should cycle Blake out to the pits. But I guarantee you, they're going to try. Slovaknik overshot his pit stall. Kalisto just getting all the fuel into it he can. Slavonic, sorry, I've been correct.
Well, boys, it's not like they have to save fuel the old-fashioned way. They have toys to play with, right? They can start turning it down.
They have tools that I wish I had access to on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Turn the fuel map down. Oh, yeah. My only option in Lionheart is ride in 6th gear and hope for a draft.
Now, you're not complaining, though, Brian, right? You
like absolutely not. That's a fun challenge, don't get me wrong. But I'd like a little knob that I could crank to turn the fuel setting down.
I'm checking in on Challoner as he's just out of his pit stop. Slots in behind Michael Thompson. And that is, when we talk about legitimate battles for position, here we go. Challoner going to take this from Thompson, going to the inside. And that's going to move him up into 8th. Thunhorst, about 1.8 seconds up the track.
Well, here's the deal. He's 13 seconds behind Blake Reynolds. He needs to go slow enough to save enough fuel, but fast enough that Blake can't come in and splash and go and get out in front of him.
Mm-hmm. I think that's what you saw if anybody watched Gateway last night in the actual IndyCar series. That's what ended up happening. Rossi he was backing way off to save fuel to make it to the end. But what that opened the door for was Will Power to just basically splash and go. And I won't spoil anything for you, but
that's what needs to happen here. Yeah,
24 hours, man. This is a 24-hour roll.
It's a different world we live in now, Sean. Be someone in the chat going, "I haven't watched that race yet."
Yeah. Send your complaints to Joe Peak at GSRC. Worley.
I thought we got a new person in charge of HR complaints. Wasn't her name Helen Waite? Oh. You had a problem, you could go to Helen Waite.
Oh boy, is Liam Quinn trying to hold off Worley here when these two are just going to cross each other over.
Joe Peak got mad at me yesterday because I spoiled the moon landing. You know? Come on, get with it, Joe.
We're all picking
I heard
on Joe.
He was watching the video of the Kennedy parade. He only stopped halfway through it. He didn't want me to say anything.
God. All right.
No, by the way, we just got our first complaint. Not a complaint, but someone saying luckily they just watched that a few hours ago. So there you go, guys.
See? Told you.
Great job. Great job. All right,
back to the battle for 9th. Please get us something on track. We're losing our minds.
This is good here.
All 3 cars under a blanket. That's how I like it.
One of them doesn't count. One's Kevin O'Keefe. He's a couple laps down. But
I mean, I wouldn't tell Kevin he doesn't count. That's not nice.
Kevin knows what I mean. We're buddies. Although I had insulted his fan base the other day, but it was all in good fun. Kalisto, though, he does count. He'll try to get around O'Keefe. Get in
I
that
think
mix.
Kevin's just going to kind of low. He just rolled out of the way.
I just can't get enough. You were talking about, Jacek, that low angle shot where the cars come off the corner and just zoom. They look like Tom Cruise in Risky Business. If I'm, where he slides across in his underwear.
That's what I thought you were talking about.
Okay, all right. My goal to not use a reference from the previous century, long since blown away. Challenger in 8th.
Yeah, and Kuhn, Challenger's going to take advantage of Kuhn. Kuhn was going through turn 2 and really had a big moment, and now Challenger is going to try to take advantage of that. Paint scheme right there for Dog Bear. The Dog Bear driver is almost more patriotic than a bald eagle holding a Big Mac. Oh, see, there we go. They just need a Big Mac on there somewhere.
Bald eagle on the nose, we see.
Perfect camera.
Speaking of bald eagles, we all have our Twitter feed, so you can get a hold of us there.
Yeah, especially I'm real easy to find at Big Bald Fat Guy 87.
That's what brought that to mind.
It's one of those, pick your shots and take that. Then that's what it was.
Up front, Reynolds up by 3 seconds. Hearn not able to do anything with him.
He's got that Star Wars helmet on there. He's, we're going to work in now. That's going to be the next target, is Star Wars references.
Our director asked, why does he have the helmet on?
Yeah,
we don't. Alliance Racing.
That is clever.
And if we had any John Williams license-free music, we'd insert it right here, but we don't. So.
Just imagine, that particular theme song.
There you go.
Right. Don't.
Yeah.
Don't.
Not. That's so frustrating.
Yeah. You want to do it.
I do.
All right. Let's see. Everybody's pretty spaced out. Where's the nearest battle? It looks like for P8, maybe?
Richie's closing. He's closing. I know we're going to look at P8, but I'm just saying he's creeping up there. Yeah, and you know what? Ray Partridge is up the road for Blake Reynolds. If he even just sniffs sniffs his wake, Ray's wake, that's obviously going to slow him down just a little bit. More advantage for Hearn.
And also, remember what we were talking about. That draft kicks in at about a second and a half back. So if basically Richie's goal is to make up about a second and a half, and then he could start sniffing the draft.
Yeah, Blake wasn't held up at all. Ray Partridge just moved out of the way. Ole. But Richie's got it down to 2.9 seconds, man. And was about 0.2 faster, or a tenth faster on that lap. Minimal gains.
I mean, baby steps forward is still forward. That was about a tenth that time.
All this going on with the subplot of Christian Challenger out there maybe trying to do this on one stop from here. Challenger and Kalisto. And we look at Kuhn in 9th.
Yep.
Kalisto trying to run him down.
Kuhn is his car is not happy with turn 2. A couple times I've looked in and he's just been wiggling through there.
You said wiggle, and that put a song in my head that I can't get out. Thanks.
Well,
okay.
The Wiggles. The Wiggles.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I know. That's terrible. I know.
There's a surefire way to get a song out of your head. It works 100% of the time. Jump in front of a train.
Jeez, that's sound advice. Thanks, Brian. Wow.
I mean,
That'll solve a lot of problems.
Are you going to tell me how to lose 20 pounds of ugly fat next? I mean, because I know how to do that.
I'm not in a position to tell anybody how to lose weight. Again, my Twitter handle is Big Bald Fat Guy. I have a shtick to put up with now. No, or you could just do what I do to my wife, and every time, because she's getting Africa from Toto or Weezer that gets stuck in her head. Well, every once I go about a week, and then I'll just play it low key on one of the Bluetooth speakers, or I'll play it in the car. And the best part is she'll just jingle along with it, and then she'll realize what song it is.
You saw Lionel Kalisto going underneath Kuhn? Again, I'm telling you, Kalisto on that one-stop strategy.
It might be. I mean, if he's got to stretch, what do we say, 2 laps out of it? And he could get there.
Well, it might be a one-stop strategy to get to somewhere close where a late yellow and he can nurse it in.
Well, I mean, obviously, that's all he's going to need is 1 yellow. I mean, that would be the difference, don't you think, Brian?
It would be. That would be right on the number, but the issue, well, even if a caution came out, let's say a caution came out now, it wouldn't surprise me if Kalisto would stay out and just lead a couple laps, and then obviously when Richie and when Blake and everybody gets back around him, that's just more money in the bank for him. I want to see this run out green, though. I just want to see.
Same here. I'm with you. We've seen enough of the yellow. We can just run this thing out green. We'll be okay. I don't think any of the drivers want to see it. Well, there might be a couple out there who would like to see a yellow, but I mean, you know.
By the way, if you see in the chat there, Sean.
The Wiggles lawyers are on line 1. Yeah, thanks, Rusty. I shouldn't even know who the Wiggles are.
You shouldn't, and that's what I'm more concerned about that than I am the song being stuck in your head.
All right, let's go to 11th here, Bill.
Michael Thompson trying to hold off Steve Driscoll, the Elite West driver out in front. One of the best battles on the track. Driscoll's been running them down.
You know, Driscoll spent a lot of this race running guys down.
We got a Slavonics in the wall.
Oh no! And it was contact. Soupy.
No
contact with Dick Mueller. Oh no! Contact with Dick Mueller, and I think it's honestly I don't think there's a caution. I think it's because Paul's car spun right back around to the racing line, and he's going. He's moving.
Careful now. Just get that car around without spinning it. Careful.
Yeah? Well, because when it bounces off the wall that final time, it points it back straight.
And I think it's going to be able to limp it around.
Because Mueller went right down outside of the racing line immediately. And Slavonics' car has momentum. It's continuing to roll. It does not trigger the flag. And poor Paul, he's got to limp the car all the way around. He's just now to the short chute, Brian. He's still got a long way to go here to get in the pit.
As long as nothing happens and that car spins up, it should be fine. He's taking the access road.
Yeah, I don't think Paul was real happy about that, actually.
Yeah, because I see his chat has been disabled.
Well, I was trying to say that without saying that, but yeah.
Sorry. I call a spade when I see it.
I got you.
Well, I don't know if that's good news for these guys that are one-stopping it or not.
Guys,
I don't know if they want their yellow right now. Go ahead.
Let's point this out here. Jump back up to P2. Richie is there. That gap was 3 seconds, towards the start of that run? And
it was.
Second and a half.
Yeah.
I really think that Richie has a very long-run car built into that setup. So as he might not be as great the first, let's call it 1 to 5 laps, and then probably from 5 to 10 in the stint, he's about even. But then you get to 15 and up, and that car is he's 2/10 faster than Blake Reynolds. That alone is the statement enough.
Guys, here's the good news for Paul Slavonic. He was holding on to that spare car.
Oh.
Yeah, they've hopped in the backup ride now.
Is that kind of like, remember a Formula E pit stop before this year?
That's exactly what it's like. Yeah. I have not watched Formula E this season. Is the one car now? Can they do it on one car?
Yeah, they've upped the battery power, and it's one car to make it to the end.
Right, Worley's out, guys. Came in for a stop, and now he's out. Slots in the 10th, and that's
he let Richie by there. I think he could have fought that spot a lot better. And then you see Henry Bennett on pit road.
It starts with H. It's okay, Brian.
I was there. At least that wasn't, Brian or Blake, whatever Snoop said earlier.
Worley getting a big run here on Richie.
Always fighting back. Maybe Richie's gonna. That's the thing is, you're racing him, but you're not right now. Because he's got fresher tires, so that's just going to create more of a headache in front of you. And now that gap is opened back up from 1.5 seconds to 2.3 seconds. But all of that lap traffic that came out from pit road ended up between Richie and Blake.
Yep. I mean, couldn't be any worse luck for Richie there.
I think Richie's pit car slowed way down. Here he goes, going for the undercut again. There, he's on pit road. Now I wonder, does he try and short fill this one to gain a little bit extra, or do you long fill it trying to short fill the next time?
Ooh, that's a good
I know if I'm a driver, I want my fastest car at the end of the race. Hits his marks perfectly.
But it'd be nice to be in front, though. It'd be nice to.
It would. Richie, I think he went for a shorter fill. Not quite short, but not full, because it was only an 8-second pit stop. And he's going to get out in front of Blake. And more importantly, he's going to end up in clean. He should end up in clean traffic. Clark Archer, that's another riding shotgun guy. He could go up there and give him fits, but he washed out. So yeah.
Quinn's in, guys. Liam Quinn's in. And he's out. Or no, I'm sorry, he's in.
He's in.
He's rolling in now.
I thought you were going to say he's got a squeeze box next. In and out.
Mama's got it.
Yeah. There we go.
Guys, Richie Hearn is out well in front of Bennett, or of Reynolds.
Yeah, I mean, Richie's into 1 and 1 right now, and Blake just entered turn 1. Go! Caution is out! This changes everything.
And that was Nick Kuhn.
Nick
Kuhn gets just drilled by Steve Driscoll.
Boom. Okay, Sean, see if you can see if Kuhn got loose. Otherwise, drilled is the word.
Ow. That was a thing.
That was push. As Driscoll's car just pushing right, he got caught in the wake of Kuhn. Car pushed on him, and he obviously didn't get it slowed down. Obviously, I don't know how else to put it. He didn't slow down.
No,
he couldn't get out of it.
Does that work for Hearn now? Hearn's on the lead lap.
Hearn should cycle out to probably P2. Because remember who we were talking about, who this caution could benefit? Christian Challenger.
Down. Yep.
If I'm Challenger, I'm putting it in 6th gear. I'm clutching, because all you need to make is a lap.
Now,
the old adage on
got a spare car, guys. Sorry, Brian, but Kuhn's got a spare car. Or maybe no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. That car is damaged bad.
Oh.
Rear end's dragging on it out of the pits.
And it looks like Rocky in that final movie. Doesn't want to give up the fight, but
yeah.
It doesn't look pretty.
So Reynolds is right behind the pace car right now. Worley is a lap down. So he won't come in. He's already made his stop, right?
Worley?
Is Worley stopped?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the real trick is that at the very back of this line is Hearn, who maybe did that short fill. Now, there will still be one more stop needed from here for these guys. And Hearn's is going to be a lot longer than we think what Reynolds will be, as Reynolds will come and get it.
Boys,
get enough to splash
I think
and
Challenger's, he's given up the go. He's on pit road.
Ah.
Really wanted to see that play out.
As is Callisto.
Guys, I was almost 45 minutes of green flag racing right there. Just thought I'd point that out.
Yeah, that wasn't bad. Got a good chunk of the race done, too.
That's good, because the pizza delivery store closes in the next half hour. So what we're going to do right now is take a break. I'll order up a pizza, have a time for when this race is over. Don't go far. We'll be back.
It's happening again. Extra Life, the 24-hour gaming marathon where gamers across the world raise money for our local Children's Miracle Network hospitals. It feels good to do something we love to help kids, but it feels great to get closer through the magic of game. We enter as friends and leave as real-world heroes for sick kids everywhere. Sign up online. Extra Life. Play games. Heal kids.
If you don't know who you're watching, let me help you. This is the Global SimRacing Channel's coverage of the Major Series. Round number 12 from Pocono. Round number 10 from Pocono. Let me correct myself on that one. We've been here a while. We are working lap number 152. We are under yellow. 49 to go. One pit stop between now and the end. Our leader is former IndyCar driver, real-world IndyCar driver, Richie Hearn. We are back under green. My late mother's favorite IndyCar driver is out in front. Mr. Excitement, Liam Quinn, is in second, trying to run him down. Henry Bennett is under attack from the man who had to surrender the lead after the yellow flag, Blake Reynolds.
Speaking of surrendering leads, do you think Richie's going to really surrender this lead at this point? He may not have a choice. Here comes Liam Quinn.
It just kind of depends on the cycle of things. I mean, I think if Richie or if Liam gets a good enough run, Richie is smart enough and seasoned enough in both the virtual world and the real world. Maybe let him, okay, you can have your moment. He's still got, what do we got? 48 laps to go, so 48 times 2. We got 96 miles left in this race.
New leader. The blue car ducks underneath. And the pass is, I'm going to call it made here. Finish it up for me, Liam. He does. Liam Quinn out in front. Hearn in the wash.
No, and boy, he felt the push. The push is real. And the run is real. Here he comes.
Rubbing back on him. Richie Hearn back to the inside. Going down into turn 2. Now move Richie Hearn, and he's going to shut the door. Here comes. Oh, and here comes Liam back again.
Meanwhile, while that's going on, you can stay there, but it is Reynolds and Challenger in a battle for 3rd position. They went around Bennett. Bennett fighting back there is fighting all over the top 10.
These leaders are they're flip-flopping more than the politicians right now. Look at them go.
A half-second gap from Quinn back to the guys that are coming. Blake Reynolds, Christian Challenger. Funny to see them together. Henry Bennett.
Here we go again. Crisscross. Wasn't that a 90s like?
Yes, it was. Move on.
They'll shut me down before I even get rolling with that idea.
Hearn has to check up. That brings Reynolds back into the mix.
There you see Liam driving all the way down, trying to break the draft away from Richie Hearn. May have worked a little bit right there.
How about a name I don't think we've called the whole race? At least I haven't. Matthew Thunhorse in 6th. Hi, Matt.
Yeah, quiet for him.
We called it out when we were reading out the grid, and I think that's about it.
Quinn, Hearn, Reynolds, Challenger, Bennett, Thunhurst, and now also in there, Little Train, back in 7th.
Well, the Alliance guys are starting to gather on track here finally. It's time to move.
Blake Reynolds making the move here on Richie Hearn. That's a battle for the 2nd position. Remember what I pointed out? Richie might not be the best. No, Richie defended the spot. I was going to say, early in that run, Richie's car seems to come in really, really strong after about 15 laps.
Yeah, deeper in the run. You had said that before, and that's certainly what I'm waiting for right now. It's just for his car to come in.
There's probably a lot of downforce built into that is what I would assume.
And we've seen Bennett's cars go away from him too, not only in this race, but in previous races as well.
Well, I know the caution's got us off to a bad start, but it's been a great race. It really has.
Absolutely.
All the competition we expected. You still got the big names. Listen, you still got the 2 black stripes in this race running and fighting for position and with a legitimate shot to win. And for those who may not know, I'm talking about Blake Reynolds and Christian Challenger. They both hold professional licenses on the iRacing service.
I just thought they were the enemies of the white stripes.
Nah, there you go.
Not going to end, folks. I talked to him during the break. There's no keeping him in line. 43 laps to go. 42 when they cross the line. He hails from the Netherlands. It's Liam Quinn. He's out in front.
Okay, so I know we're looking at Quinn right now. We never really talked about what happened to Nick Kuhn when we came back from break. We'd seen, of course, he'd had the wreck, went in to get his fast repair. The car still came out damaged. Apparently, there may be a glitch. Maybe or may not be. It's not been confirmed, but he went out of the server, came back into the server. He's reconnected, and he's back out on track, but obviously has lost the laps. And, well, that'll be an impossible hill to overcome for Nick.
Yeah, 4 laps down. That's at this point in the race, you're not making that up.
That's too bad. He had tried the road less traveled strategy and was making it work for him. They start to single file now. Let's drop in on 8th position. Here comes a run from Marcus Tracy, working on Steve Driscoll. He's going to wait. Tracy in the white car, Driscoll in the star-spangled car.
It's a little breathtaking right now. I'm kind of on pins and needles. It's like, all right, how's this thing going to play out? I'm doing my own calculations in my head, thinking, all right, who can do what here? Hearn getting caught in the wake back there behind Quinn again.
As we see Tracy make that pass, yep.
He's sleuthing up there a little bit. It was about a 10th faster than Quinn last time. This is right about where the point where that car comes in. Christian, don't look past Christian Challenger back there in 4th. He's running pretty competitive lap times too.
It's great. We've got fans in the chat too. Legitimate fans. People pulling for Challenger, pulling for Hearn, Liam Quinn.
If I hadn't seen Challenger race so many times, I would say that he has nothing for these guys. But he's such a sandbagger. He saves the car to the end. And here he is. When it starts to count, he finds himself up in 4th.
Yeah, it's almost like he can hear somehow from the helmet that pay window opens up. He knows right where to be.
Yeah, he's lying in wait right now. He's got Henry Bennett right over his shoulder.
Like a rented horse on the way back to the stable. He's in a hurry.
Hey, Josh, I don't know if I gave him a shout out or not, but Josh Nowak, our Australian winner, or the man from Australia, our international region winner, is hanging out in the chat cheering for Christian. So good on him. Rusty Shackelford pulling for Burt Reynolds. He's red leader.
Yeah.
I actually personally know the drummer for a band that used to be around called Shackelford Brown. So I wonder if they owe him any royalties.
Well, Rusty Shackelford, the name is from King of the Hill.
Is it really?
Dale Gribble's like alias.
Oh, okay.
Ah, there's a factoid for you.
I'm marking all these down.
The next broadcast, Soup will have like 35 references for all of these things. He's studying and he's got notes.
Let's go to 10th. While you guys are doing that, we'll look at continue it to just look at Josh Thompson here and Travis Morgan.
No, that's Michael
racing,
Thompson.
Get in the way.
That's Michael Thompson. Josh Thompson drives a Formula Road 2. On Friday.
Another quarter in the jar.
Josh. That's right. Well, at least it wasn't Clay Thompson of the Warriors, so I give myself credit for that one.
Yeah,
at least it wasn't Clay Thompson.
On board with Travis Warling, I think you saw Thompson coming out of that last turn there. That car got awful loose up near the wall.
Oh, guys, Richie Hearn, big problems up front. He caught the apron, and he didn't spin out, but golly gee.
He had to get out of it.
He had to pedal that thing. And that drops him behind Blake Reynolds and into the clutches of Christian Challenger and Henry Bennett.
Oh, this is going to be great. 35 laps to go at the line. This is going to be great. Here on board with Richie Hearn. He was flirting down there way too low with that apron. Oh,
Molly Hatchet had a song about that.
Oh, it was in that NASCAR game, and now I can't get that song out of my head. Thanks. Flirting with disaster, right? Yeah, that's what you were thinking of.
That's exactly where I was.
Boy, Challenger just had a lot of push.
Yeah, he pushed way up in turn 1 and had to pedal it to get back into the groove there. Other footnote here to play with, boys. The fuel window's open. Anywhere inside of here, you're good to go to the end. So, I guess that begs the question. They are 19 laps into this stint. Most of the leaders. Richie's 20. Henry's 23 now. How do you play it?
You know what? If I'm
Your crew chief, Sean, what would you tell your driver?
If I'm Richie Hearn's crew chief, I have him come in now, because I know I've set that car up to run better on a longer run. This race is looking pretty clean and green.
Yeah, that's not a half bad thought, because he'd probably cycle out to nice open green track.
Yep, and do nothing but gain time on those guys.
But here's the trade-off, though. If you pull him in too early, he's going to be full of fuel, and let's say that Blake runs another 10, he's probably only got to put 7-8 gallons in the thing.
He might be able to make it up in the pits, but the stops are so short. I don't know that. I just don't know. What do you say? Maybe 2 seconds? Maybe?
Maybe. I mean, if you short fill... So my unit of measurement is the Lionheart series. You run 75% fuel, and a full stop is 7-8 seconds. That's the 13 gallon.
Look at this battle we got going on here for fourth, man.
Yeah.
Challoner was really being challenged there by Bennett, and now Bennett's got Thunhorse breathing down his neck.
Yeah, they had swapped positions a couple times. Bennett actually had it. Thunhorse is coming. Keep in mind, all this is going on behind the car that I think is the fastest one on the track. That's Liam Quinn.
Yeah, Sean, to counter your point, Andrew in the chat says run it dry.
I don't think that's bad either.
No.
As long as you're continuing to make time, but
I think you're right, though. In Richie's case, because his car is so good from the longer run, maybe. But I still think having a lot less fuel out of it would be the ticket.
Yeah, it's good on the longer run, but it's only good on the longer run compared to other cars that are on the longer run. So
correct.
I don't know if intentionally doing
Henry
that.
Henry Bennett, he's firing the first shot. He's on pit road.
I think 28 laps is about 28 to go is about the halfway mark of this
we
stint.
went green 23 laps ago, so yeah, right about there. You're running it in that window.
Now, if I'm Lee and Quinn out in front, I'm racing it till it's dry. I see no advantage to coming in
absolutely,
early.
yeah. If you're Quinn, you're running that thing until it's perfect. Henry Bennett off of pit road, 7.7 second pit stop, and he's going to be in clean air.
Yeah, I'm not commenting.
That's the beautiful part about racing. We're just going to have to see how this goes.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Thurnhorst on pit road, too.
Boy, what you really hope doesn't happen is that...
Oh, stop.
Okay.
You're going to say that C...
Well, I'm watching guys that are laps down battle awful close right now. And it's like,
what is Soup? What's your expression? The shepherd's prayer?
That's it. Don't screw up. That's nothing.
Blake Reynolds on pit road. Richie's going to take out another lap.
Well, I guess the thinking might be that maybe I'm faster if Liam stays out. Maybe I can do the undercut.
Blake Reynolds is away. 7.1 second pit stop. Because the longer you run the stint, the less fuel you have to take. And these cars like a lot less fuel.
And the closer you are to being able to figure out exactly how much you need, too. I don't know. I'm not great in math, but...
Quinn on pit road, our leader to pit road.
At the halfway mark at 28.
Yep.
He's going to split it up into even halves.
Okay, well, maybe Richie Hearn's taking some advice from Andrew Kinsella, and he's going to run this thing dry because he's back in the lead. And then he gets to short fuel. Maybe that's the play. I'm not going to here. I'm not going to question a former IndyCar driver. I think he's got the edge on me a bit.
The key is going to be the lap time.
Yeah.
Like that, I think to me, that's going to be the utmost of importance. So Richie, he's got enough of a gap up to the car in front of him that the draft would help, but it's not arrow washing. Richie ran a 43.85, let's call it. Let's see, of who's pitted. Thornhorst just ran a 43 flat. Henry Bennett 43 flat. That's really about it so far that's actually taken time. Blake, I think, is going to be the X factor here.
Well, Quinn made his stop. Reynolds made his stop. Reynolds picked up a little bit on
Richie's
Quinn
in.
now.
Richie's in, guys.
Richie's in. Here we go. Split it right down the middle.
Challoner stays out.
Someone is going to push this long and hope that they can make it up on the backside.
Yeah.
All right, Richie down and away. 8. Nope.
Oh, it can't be away yet, is he? Yeah, there we go.
He's up, and he's down. No,
Quinn.
not yet. He's down.
Quinn coming across the start-finish line right now. He was a
9
leader
second
before the
pit
pit
stop.
stops.
It was a long
that
stop
was
for
long.
Richie.
Yep.
Quinn goes by. Reynolds goes by.
That's
Bennett
full tank.
goes by. Thunhurst goes by.
Yeah.
Hearn comes out in 5th. Of all the cars who have stopped, Christian Challoner comes in now.
Thompson in behind him.
Based on what I saw from Hearn, I would think Challoner is going to get a little faster stop than that. Remember, we talked about Hearn. We think he short-filled the time before this. Remember, guys? That's how he got to be so close. So he's probably...
And
Rumpelstiltskin has come for the baby, my dad used to say. So he has to pay the piper.
Challoner back in the track. Now where's Kalisto? Down the front stretch. Kalisto's going to run it a little bit. Fastest car on track last time by Ryan Worley. Oh, now Liam Quinn. It just changed up.
Challoner gets passed by Thunhurst. Challoner came out in 9th overall. I think it's 5th. So right now it's Quinn, Reynolds, Bennett, Challoner, who just got around Thunhurst. There's your 5 who's pitted.
well, not far behind him is Richie Hearn. Obviously, we know he just pit, and he sits in 10th, but Soup, I got to be honest, he's got a nice gap in front of him, a chance to make up a little bit of time here.
Lionel Kalisto, our leader, the California driver, been out there for 27 laps. Well, maybe a plethora of yellow flags wins it for Lionel Kalisto.
Kevin Hill on pit road.
Guys, I think Challoner's setting up Bennett for a move here. Yeah, in fact, Bennett trying to break Challoner's draft, do anything he can to keep him off the back door. Challoner running up on the outside, gonna compete in a 1. Woohoo! Hang on.
All right, Henny, I appreciate the thought, but that was a bit scary there. He
Turned it down right on corner exit.
Man, this is all good for Bennett. Or I'm sorry, not for Bennett, but for Thunhorst and Richie Hearn. Hearn already closing on Thunhorst, guys.
Kalisto on pit road. He's away.
Quinn goes by. Reynolds goes by. Kalisto rolling out on the track. Challoner and Bennett go by. Thunhurst goes by. Hearn goes by.
Marcus Tracy
Driscoll
to the lead. There's a name I don't think we've said all day.
Lionel Kalisto cycles out in 10th. Two drivers still to make their stops. Marcus Don't Call Me Paul Tracy and Wayne Hutchinson.
Good recovery for Wayne. Remember, he got let down earlier.
He did. You're absolutely right, Brian.
Playing the strategy game, cycles back up to P2. That's not bad.
He was in there doing with the same thing Nick Kuhn was doing. It's going to work out for him.
I mean, Quinn is laying some lap times down, boy. 43.13 to a Blake's 43.28.
Well, we kind of saw Quinn do this in the Absolute Beginners IR18 league that they had. He's definitely a proven quick driver, and right now, well, he's driving it like he stole it, Brian.
And won the Indy 500 in this same machine. Now it's he drives out of Holland, or the Netherlands, maybe not Holland specifically. Maybe from Gelderland. I'm still looking for a driver from Gelderland. What time is it over there? It's got to be...
Oh.
We're going to look at the flag. He's not. We're going to say that he's not from...
No, that's
oh, he's from the UK.
Yeah.
All right. That's close enough. It's still late.
I mean, UK time is 5 hours ahead of Easter, and it's just shy of 11 o'clock Eastern
Okay, well,
time.
so maybe he's been to Holland before. That might count a little bit.
I've been through Holland, Michigan.
No, yeah, that's okay. Sorry, Liam. Come on, I said bend it like Becker, so after that, I think I get it. I'm allowed any mistakes. Golly. Don't worry, folks.
It is such a high standard, Sue.
Joe Peak will be back in 2 weeks. You won't hear nearly as much of Sue.
Okay. Worley, good battle for 13th. Is Worley, well, no, I'm sorry. I thought that was Worley fighting for position. It's actually Paul Slavonic, who finds himself still a lap down, unfortunately.
Paul I did it. Marcus Tracy, still our leader. Holy.
There's another quarter in the jar.
Yeah, Wayne Hutchinson
Here he comes.
on that same strategy with him.
Tracy
out there.
It seemed like they were just banking on a caution or something like that to maybe draw people back in and sneak some track position away, but just didn't work out. But we got them some screen time there at the end, so I'm sure their fans are happy with that.
New leader Wayne Hutchinson.
And now the comeback is complete. So this, once Hutchinson stops, this will cycle Liam Quinn back out to the lead. And that gap between he and Reynolds is tight. Like I almost want to say we should go back and take a look at that.
Yeah. Looks like Hutchinson's slowing down here to come in. Yeah, he is.
Yeah. So now this will hand the lead back over to Liam Quinn. Chandler is actually running the fastest lap times of all of them by a very good margin.
Well, you said earlier we don't want to count him out. So
the only thing that's really separating Chandler from the front is he's got the lap car of Lynn Kinchlow, who is basically separating he and Blake. But I mean, lap time wise, boys, Liam Quinn 43.47, Blake 43.66. Christian, you ready for this one? 43.21.
Sandbagger.
That's making the hay right there.
Intervals are pretty big up front, but not so much when you get back into fourth position. Bennett about a half second on Thunhorse. He's got about a half second on Hearn. He's got about a half second on Steve Driscoll. He's got about 5 car lengths on Lionel Callisto. Oh, that's a pretty scene, but we got to give a little credit to this guy. Let's go to 9th. He qualified in 33rd position. He's about to lose it to Marcus Tracy. Scott Corbin. Nice job.
Very solid run. Right now, he's the hard charger. Very solid run for the Kinetic Pacific driver there.
Oh my. Liam Quinn now 0.8 of a second up on Reynolds.
Guys, I'm Challenger is going to get there.
Challenger is coming too.
I mean, and that one long, he probably has a little bit less fuel and fresher tires than Blake and Liam.
Quinn comes across, 13 to go. Now the gap.
He better hurry up and try to get gone, because that 78 machine's coming.
Yeah. Yep. Reynolds going the wrong direction. He lost time to Quinn. Challenger has, I don't know if he's been ahead of Reynolds the whole race, but he's about to be.
It's been Reynolds basically out front of Challenger for most of what I can remember. Challenger lost a little bit of room right there because he went to go make a move into 2, and Blake did not cut him any slack going into that corner. And then Challenger wisely rolled out of it and said, okay, I'm coming back for it.
Biggest
and
fan.
There we go.
Yeah. Biggest fan of Blake Reynolds right now is Liam Quinn.
Yeah, if they get to battle in that gap is a second and a half.
Oh, it's opening up.
We're coming to 11 to go this time.
It's almost double the gap than what it was a little while ago, as Challenger cannot get around Blake.
Oh, and he's got to be gripping that steering wheel extra tight, just fuming. He just needs a little bit more grip. He needs a little bit more of any. He can get around the 66. And here we go. He's going to get that big run down the front stretch, poke the nose out, and he's going to fall right back into line. Maybe showing Blake, hey, I could have made a move there. Maybe you try to poke the nose out there as a driver to see if you can break the concentration of the guy in front of you.
Blake Reynolds racing like a kidney stone right now. Hard to pass. Challenger trying to do everything he can.
This battle, like we've said, this battle has allowed Liam Quinn to sneak away about 2 seconds is what it's going to cycle out here.
Almost.
10 laps to go at Pocono. 20 miles left in the Pocono 500.
I know we don't do math here, but I believe it's 25.
It is
25, whatever.
This is why we don't do math, guys. Come on.
Right in the handbook.
I didn't carry the 1 and then, multiply by 2.
Well, those 5 miles are going to matter to Liam Quinn right now, because Challenger, if he can just get around Reynolds.
I think Challenger's running out of time. He's going to have to get aggressive with Blake Reynolds very, very soon. Instead of just poking, and he just arrow washed out in 3. That's going to kill the momentum down the front stretch.
Got to get back to work.
He's got to. I think the move of what Challenger needs to do in either 1 or 3 is where this move is going to come. He's going to have to run it high, and then see Blake's up there trying to take the line away just a little bit. He's got to run it high, get that run off the corner, and then sniff the draft and pull out very late. That's the whole trick. That's how Challenger's got to get around Reynolds.
Sean, every time Challenger tries and fails, it costs him a lap to get that up.
It does,
And running out of lap.
Guys, don't look now, but Matthew Hunt Thunhorse has made his way to Henry Bennett. This is a battle for position. Thunhorse bringing it down the inside into the turn. Oh, keep it glued down there. Doesn't wash up. That's a nice tight turn for Thunhorse. Great job. Thunhorse up to 4th.
Oh, coming back.
Look for that. Bennett going to fight back. Bennett says, I'm tired. I want to go home. Stay back there.
Liam Quinn says, if a yellow's going to come, don't have it come now. At least let it go to another. 3 or 4 or 5 laps.
Point of no return would probably be 4 laps to go.
Although they're pretty quick here at Pocono, so maybe we can sneak one in. I guess with the lap traffic it wouldn't be. Here we come, Quinn across with the 2-second lead now.
I think if, everything holds true, I think Liam Quinn is going to sneak away with the victory here. Because I think Challoner right now is in this position where he's like a dog chasing a car. He's got to the car, and now he doesn't know what he's going to do to get there.
Yeah.
Blake Reynolds holding down second. This is the best thing that could have happened to Liam Quinn.
Meanwhile, Liam Quinn is out front like the cat that ate the canary. So now I've tied 3 animal groups together. Your move.
Very good.
Your move.
Blake Reynolds in second.
Here comes Challoner. Challoner starting a run right there, heading into the turn.
It fades out. He just can't. For whatever is going on in that car, he can't turn through the middle of 1 or 3, and it just he can't go anywhere with it. Like he's going to get a big run, going to go down into 2, just fades out. He just can't get that bite that he needs.
Well, our friend Rusty Shackelford all over it, man. He's out here saying that he's struggling for grip in the corner, and that's exactly what we're seeing.
5 laps to go.
Challoner coming up. Cannot get it done. Reynolds out there racing like a $3 bill. Cannot be passed.
Guys, Richie Hearn's got a shot at the top 5. He's finally caught up to Henry Bennett. Is there anything left over these last 4 laps? About to find out for the Elite West driver. Oh, and as I say that, that was a wicked run off there.
Yellow car Hearn cannot get it done. Here's
Move
the
for
move.
second. Here's Challoner. Just not going to stick. A huge run down the front stretch, but now he's going to
got a shot now.
Pull right back in. He's got to get it now.
Takes it in. Can he finish the job? He cannot. He's on the inside, fighting back.
Quite slide job.
Got him.
Blake, no, he ain't got nothing. Here comes Blake.
Should be momentum off the top side though for Challoner. They do not touch.
There was no quarters given there. 3 laps to go.
Could not fit a black stripe between them. So there you have it.
He licks the stamp and sends it down into turn 1. Blake Reynolds to the bottom, Challoner up top. What a move.
This is what we wanted, boys, right here. This is what we wanted, a battle. A couple laps to go.
Oh, that was a little shimmy there.
Now he lost momentum.
Yeah, that may have just given Challoner all the gap he needed.
Quinn safely up by 2.3 seconds. Now without Reynolds behind him. Challoner
Reynolds is
pull away.
Reynolds is just dropping, man. Look at that.
Yeah, he didn't. He just lost all the front grip through turn 3, and it killed him down the front stretch. But it is smooth sailing for Liam Quinn. I mean, Challoner is still faster, but
guys, back behind them. Jeez, for 5th place, Marcus Tracy from out of nowhere takes it over from Henry Bennett, and then Richie Hearn just gets by Bennett. Hearn's still stuck in 6th, though. Marcus Tracy, what a move.
One of the quietest 5th places you'll ever see.
You betcha, buddy.
The white flag is out. Sean Ambrose said that he hailed out of the Netherlands. That was wrong. He clearly races out of the UK. Liam Quinn working down the backstretch now. If Christian Challoner had anything for him, he used it up trying to get around Blake Reynolds. He won at Indianapolis. He is just one turn away from winning his second 500-mile race in this Dallara IR18. Liam Quinn wins the Pocono 500. Christian Challenger gets second. Blake Reynolds takes third.
What a race.
And we had 5 different teams in the top 5, Soup.
Matthew Thunhurst and Marcus Tracy round out that top 5. Richie Hearn had to settle for 6th. Henry Bennett, Lionel Callisto.
Wow, that was a great race. Hey, have your opinions if you want about the yellows that we caught early, but boy, what a finish.
Scott Corbin and Travis Warling round out your top 10 as all the other cars, 16 of them finish on the lead lap. The racing is over here in Pennsylvania, but our broadcast is far from done. We'll take a short break, come back, run down the entire finishing order, talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. Back in a few. Welcome back to the Global SimRacing Channel's coverage of the Extra Life Pocono 500 Round 10 on the 2018 major schedule. Started off a bit messy, but boy, did it finish up exciting. Let's give you the finishing order right now. It is Mr. Excitement, Liam Quinn. He wins the Indy 500. He follows it up by winning the Pocono 500. Christian Challenger and Blake Reynolds go second and third. They sit up 1 and 2 in the points. Matthew Thunhurst and Marcus Tracy go fourth and fifth. The back half of your top 10, Richie Hearn, Henry Bennett, Lionel Callisto, Scott Corbin, and Travis Warling. Sean? We'll go to Brian Yazik here for the next part as Sean stepped away.
Wayne Hutchinson there in P11, followed by Michael Thompson in 12th. Steve Driscoll there in 13th. Ryan Worley 14th. Mark Redeker in 15th, followed by Kevin Hill in 16th. Clark Archer 17th. Paul Slavanik in lucky number 18 and 19th with Brian Bennett and 20th to Lynn Kinchler.
Hidden blackjack, it's Drew Lalonde, Kevin O'Keefe. Sorry, Sean, you step away and lose your spot. Ray Partridge, Nick Kuhn, Dick Mueller, Brian McGreevy in 26th. 27th is Tom Dreiling, Jimbo Pfeiffer in 28th. 29th goes to Adam Capone, Vincent Lebier in 30th. Sean, you want to take the last three just to practice?
No, go ahead, Sue.
Dallas Pataska, Mark Torres, and Rob Powers round out your 33-car field. Okay, it is time for interviews now, and we look up. Do we see our winner? We do. It is Liam Quinn. Let's bring him down. And since I'm on a roll and everything's working for me, I'll go ahead and talk to him. Liam Quinn, congratulations on another 500-mile win in the IR18.
Yeah, thanks. It's somehow was more exhausting than the 3-hour slog the last one was, but it feels good.
Those yellow flags in the beginning came out. The fast repair saved you. I thought you were fast, but then you got caught up in one. You had to use that fast repair probably earlier than you wanted.
Oh, God. I didn't realize before the race, but I had my brake bias set below 50. I applied the brakes at about 60 miles an hour and went flying into the wall. So I apologize for that.
Brian Yosik had that one called coming in there. The thing just went south on you. You were able to get that thing fixed and then come back, and then you were fast from then on out. And the green flags, everything fell your way.
Yeah, I think I got lucky with a caution. Richie and I were trying to catch down Blake, but I think he might have had us if it stayed green. It was hard work, though. The track is molten lava, hot, and it's hard to find any grip, especially up high. But if you can make it work, you can really fly.
I'm going to guess that this is your favorite car on the service?
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, you are really, really good. Congratulations on your second 500-mile win. Oh, I'm going to get out of this on this one. I haven't checked. Are you racing in this region officially, or are you just sneaking in to do these with us?
I'm registered in the Pacific region.
Are you?
Well, it suits my time zone, weirdly enough.
Okay, so
even if it's 3 a.m.
All right, what time is it where you are right now? And where exactly are you?
Just a bit north of London, and it's currently 4:16 in the morning.
Okay, well, that's what a Monday morning is for. Congratulations on the win. Get some sleep, and we will see you down the road.
Thanks.
Liam Quinn, hailing out of a few miles north of London. All right. We're probably going to go with our second place finisher now, and that's going to be Blake Reynolds. No, it's not. Sorry. Get up to who I know. It's Christian Challenger, and we'll let Brian Yosik talk to him.
Christian, you had a absolutely spirited debate, a spirited race there with Blake Reynolds at the end. Did you need to get around him to get a shot at Liam?
I kind of figured if I could clear him fast enough, I might be able to get to him. But honestly, I'm just completely amazed I was even there to begin with. It was about 50 laps into the race. I wanted to park that thing. I don't understand how this thing works because I was behind people and I was tight. And if I put weight jacker in the thing, all that happened was I got loose on exit. So I came into the pits and was like, okay, I'll crank some wing on. I put front wing on the car and it went really slow. So we somehow fixed it by doing the exact opposite, taking a ton of wing out of the thing, and all of a sudden it wanted to turn. And that's, yeah, I'm amazed that we actually got speed out of the thing at the end. It was a ridiculous turnaround.
The battle versus driver of crew chief, who's going to end up on the bright side of that. But we had a lot of cautions earlier in the race, and that doesn't seem to really phase you all that much because in these pack majors or these majors races, you really tend to come on strong at the end. I made the comment with about 50 laps to go that you have a knack for finding out when that pay window opens up, and then all of a sudden you're there. I mean, is that as a driver, especially these 500-mile races, how do you keep that focus to go through with that sort of plan?
Well, normally it's just a case of like near the beginning here. I mean, I knew from watching the international race that you didn't really want to lose track position if you could help it. That's kind of why I was staying out as long as I could before I had to pit near the beginning, just so I could avoid all of what was going on. Because I mean, I'm pretty sure 4 of my teammates are literally the last cars in the race because they all just got wiped out, and I just didn't want to be involved in that kind of deal. I had a bit of an interesting moment where I came on a pit road and Liam Liam managed to, I think he locked up and he hit the barrels and bounced back into me. So I don't know if I had any damage from that. I don't think I did, but it's just kind of trying to avoid stuff like that for the first half of the race, at least, because as you see, it's crazy and then it all calms down, really. So this time was kind of luck that we actually got back to where we did, but most of the times that's really the plan. Just survive, don't race too hard at the beginning, don't burn yourself out in the first half, and then really just go for it in the second half when you know you're going to have some clean track and be able to actually get up there.
Simple enough. I mean, we'll get you out the door on this one. I mean, that battle with Blake there at the end, do you guys, it seems like you always find each other in these races, and the battles are always intense. I mean, just to take us through those last couple laps.
Well, we were running him down really quick. After Dallas got taken out, he basically turned in my spotter, and he was telling me that I was catching him like 3-4 tenths a lap, and I was kind of surprised by that. I figured I'd just eventually it would just stop, like I'd just get stuck certain distance behind him, and I mean I kind of did, because when I got nearer to him, I got just basically I think 0.8, 0.7 behind for ages, and I couldn't really get no closer than that. But I had to pass him. Like, just absolutely had to pass him. There's been so many races this year where we really should have gained a ton of points on him, and instead it's gone the other way. And I mean, tonight we were like, yeah, well, I mean, it's IndyCar. We don't know it that well. We're not that good in it. But I kind of figured he was starting in 21st and that maybe we'd actually be able to gain something out of it. And then that reversed itself pretty quickly. And from there, as soon as, I mean, I got near him, the thing got real hot. I think it was up to like 289 oil temperature. And it was either a case of I was going to have to pass him or I was going to have to back off and not blow the thing up. So I got a good run. I saw him bobble, I think, out of one time. And then I was able to keep close and get alongside him in 2. And I just had to do it. I had to pass him half to gain some points on him. I can't really afford to lose anymore.
Well, we will catch you on down the road, and we'll see you back at on the dirt track in the next event.
Thank you.
All right, and Brian, thank you for catching up with Christian. I'm going to talk to Blake Reynolds, our man who finished third this evening on the podium, and we'll get Blake in here. And here he is, Blake Reynolds. All right, the celebration must be intense. Blake, did the car just go away from you there at the end?
I guess. Our car was really not made to be up front. I didn't think I was going to be up front. I qualified 19th for this race, so I worked really hard to get this thing working good in traffic, and boy, it did. I got up to the front pretty effortlessly to sum it up, but yeah, when I got out front, it really just took off when I was in the lead, but you know, when I was second and third, it just didn't drive that good.
All right, as a driver, I've got to ask you, all right, what's it, you got a few laps left and you're battling Christian Challoner. Is that the pinnacle? I mean, is that really where you want to be? Every race is in that kind of battle. Is that what you yearn for?
I mean, I guess for the show, yeah. I'd rather I would have rather been up front and clean air.
Yeah.
But having to battle him with the slight air wash off of Liam up front, the air wash to me, I felt like could go up almost to 3 seconds. It probably isn't that, but in my mind it just probably was. But I was really pushing hard to try and pull away from him, give him the most wash I could give him, and then I was trying to, when he passed me, I was just trying my best to stay with him, but he had way better straight line speed there at the end.
All right, real quickly, I got to ask you, we started this race off with a lot of cautions. What do you think was the biggest factor there? Is why we got so many? Was it the track temperature? Was it, extreme setups? What do you think?
I would say the track temperature. It's pretty hard. This combo is really hard in general. Me and Adam Young were talking about it. Adam picks the weather for these races. He's the weatherman. So
yeah,
Mike goes to him and asks him for the weather, and Adam unfortunately makes this really, really realistic. And we're racing in the summer, so we're always getting these hot tracks around this time of year.
Yeah.
So that probably had something to do with it. A lot of guys that were in this race, I honestly, this would just be me, like seeing on the track and in those first couple of cautions and coming from the back. I don't think some of the guys should have been in the race they probably had great qualifying setups, but their race trim was just nowhere near where it needed to be.
Yeah, it's easy to put down those hot laps when you're the only one on the track, having to get that fast queue time. But racing in the pack and having that race trim set is really, really important, and that's obviously something you and your team always seem to excel at. Hey, listen, congratulations! Podium is not bad. It's not winning, but listen, it's still pretty good, man.
That's good, but it still hurts to lose to the guy I'm battling in points. That's the one guy I wanted to beat today. I didn't think until 10 to go when Clark told me he was coming that I was going to have to battle him. So, congrats to him for really making that fight fun. I actually hit him coming off of turn 3 there with like 3 to go when we were. But I just absolutely licked the stamp and sent it in the turn 3, and I got under him.
We saw it.
Yeah, we made contact, but probably net code. But yeah,
that we didn't really see that. But if you say so, I'm going to run with it. Hey, listen again, Blake. Congratulations, and we'll see you for the next one here pretty soon.
Yep. Thanks, Sean. Thanks, guys. Great broadcast.
All right, and our thanks to Blake Reynolds. And let's see. Matthew Thunhorst is in, and and I messed that up. I'm sorry. There's Matthew Thunhorst now.
There we go, and I got this one. And Matt, we're going to be able to do this one without yellow flags. This interview is going to go wire to wire, green flag. How's that sound?
After the first part of that race, that sounds like heaven.
Did you have to use a spare car?
Nope. Miraculously, despite being in the back there at the start, didn't touch the wall. No 0Xs. Perfectly clean car.
You had a good car at the very end. How were your stints? Were they good all the way through, or were you stronger at the end of the runs?
Overall, I think I was stronger at the end compared to the other guys, but we tried to build a good long-round balanced car, and Jason was able to do some dampening, and funny enough, he did it on the old Pocono, but they still transferred over and did pretty well for this one.
You qualified 8th, so you didn't have to worry too much about making the pro split. Did you have a lot of time then to put in some long stint runs during practice?
Yeah, essentially Thursday, Friday, and today I was just full 30-lap runs, and really helped me to be able to work the car in traffic, which I think was a problem for a lot of people, but something that was fortunate to work for us and the rest of the Alliance squad.
Well, you brought it all the way through using only one car. That alone is a victory. Congratulations on a 4th place finish.
All right. Thank you.
Matthew Thunhorst coming home 4th on one car. That's the way it should be. In my book, he's a winner. All right. That's going to do it for us here on the Global Sim Racing Channel, but we have to make sure that we thank the people that made this broadcast possible. Let's start with Mike Willett and the staff for organizing the major series and allowing GSRC to be part of the family of broadcasters that cover all 4 regions. On the screen now are just some of the company's equipment and software that made this broadcast possible. The iconic music that lets your ears alert your eyes. You're watching a GSRC Productions comes courtesy of Eric Lalonde and June. Oh, nope, let's try that again. Eric Eckham. How many times in the world have I said this and I blew that one? Eric Eckham and June Lalonde. See the screen to how to contact each of them. The majors will return in just 2 weeks, September 9th for round 11th, the Knoxville Nationals. The good news is Joe Peak will be back to be lead on that one. Woohoo! GSRC will be there to bring you all the Pacific region action. We hope you join us. Sliding across your screens now are just some of the upcoming broadcasts, so check them out and mark them down on your calendar. For more information about GSRC, visit Global Sim Racing Channel. Or you can check out our social media at Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel, Instagram at GSRC_Gram. Don't forget to head over to our YouTube page if you haven't already. Click that big red subscribe button so you don't miss a moment here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. Finally, on behalf of the entire crew, Sean Ambrose, Brian Yasek, Amjad Yaman, Dougie Beard, and of course Joe Peak, wherever he may be. I'd like to thank all of you for watching. With that said, we're off to have fun, storm the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, dramatic pause, and we'll see you on the track.